on this Thursday. Well, I got to check a battery. View of Jerusalem. Tel Aviv. I'm actually doing laundering in the background, so if you hear anything, that's the machine. Just saying. Okay. So, Iran International put out something that is so bizarre. It is so bizarre. What's up, Eugene and Witchmoon? It's so bizarre. To start the morning, 1 hour ago, Donald Trump on Wednesday said the Islamic Republic negotiators had offered him the position of supreme leader as part of the deal to end the war, adding no one in Tehran is willing to take leadership due to the threat of assassination. Quote, "We'd like to make you the next supreme leader. No, thank you. I don't want it," Trump said in a fundraising dinner in Washington. I'm like, what? And you know, I was thinking about that when I read it. How are you dealing with people that have tried to assassinate you? I mean, really? Oh, hell no. And it's a lot of those clerics I keep talking about and mullahs, parliament members. Are you crazy? You can't negotiate with these people. We predicted it was going to happen. A lot of people in chat said, ain't happening. When I was coming up with the different options, well, there were a lot of people in chat saying it ain't going to happen. Before anything was even announced, when we were talking about the 14, 15-point plan, we were spot on. That's why I'm not saying this to brag. We have really some of the great people in chat that are so sharp and engaging. And yeah, coming up with different points of view. You know, we read it. The thing is, I don't want to say listen because you're not listening. But you see what people write and you respond to it and you say, you know what? That's a great point. And I love that. Very engaging. It's one thing to sit here and talk and rant for hours. It's so much better when you have people in a community speaking or texting or chatting amongst each other. It makes this so much more enjoyable for everyone, I think. No, we don't need to put people's comments up on a super chat or this or that. We don't need to do that. We just simply see what Eugene is saying, like he's saying, let's listen to some music. Maybe we'll do Ali the Mouse. It's been a long time. But it's awesome, I must say. Good morning, Marianne. Anyway, that was bizarre when there's not much, because I tried to scour. You hit the nail on the head with the name. It wasn't me who came up with Ali the Mouse. That was out there, and I just wrote lyrics about it. It wasn't me. I take no credit for that. That was the people of Iran. What is it? What do they call it? Mush? They're the ones that were saying it on the streets of Iran. I take no credit. I give them credit. Let me just see what other cray things are out there right now. There's not much other than a few social posts by the president, but oh, look what Putin says. Oh my gosh. What's up, Gitmo? Putin said on Thursday, today, the consequences of the Iran war could be comparable to those of the COVID pandemic. He's talking about the economic effect globally, how it slows everything down. That's what he's referring to. If I I don't want to get into this man's mind. Oh, that's what he said. Hold on. The consequences of the conflict in the Middle East are still difficult to accurately predict. He said the conflict was already disrupting global supply chains, exactly what I thought, and putting pressure on energy, metals, and fertilizer sectors. He needs to go hide somewhere himself in a hole. What do you think? Exactly. How could people not be happy about freedom? I mean, this is historical. Potentially, this is historical. I hope it. I really do. I really do want that for the people over there. Peace. Listen. They don't know what it's like to live in peace. They don't know what it's like to live, to raise a family with freedom and expression and being able to engage with people or listen to music or engage with people on social media. Though there are, we all know there are things that are not necessarily good about that. But like anything else, life is about choices and making rational, logical decisions, not bad ones, because the bad ones lead to bad consequences and the ramifications are negative. All of us lead our lives I've made many mistakes in my past. One really bad. But that doesn't define moving forward and trying to do better every day. Every day. These people don't even have that opportunity. Like I was looking at Tusi and I saw that video and how these creeps on the street, and I showed one myself that was separate yesterday. These people are living in like a prison. If you think about it, they can't even go out without being threatened, intimidated, or worse. It's like they're under house arrest. They're like in prison. It's like, what the? They're afraid to come out of their houses. You saw that video I showed yesterday of the guy with I don't know what type of gun or long arm it was. I don't know if it was an AK. I don't know I couldn't tell what weapon it was. Maybe somebody with a background could tell. Well, I'm not going to show the video again, but the point is, they were firing at people indiscriminately. What about the one that Tusi was showing? And he's shooting up at people in the balconies, and I'm like, this is crazy. And you hear the people yelling and screaming, death to Khomeini or whatever. I'm like, oh my God. And like somebody said when I was watching it, they should have drones to target the people wherever the green laser source is coming from. Hit them. Hit them. The thing is, how do you cover such a vast country? You can't be everywhere all the time. And like he said, they'll be in the protest, then they'll leave the protest, do their shit, and go back in, dress as civilians. It's hard. It's hard to take them out. How long do you think this is going to last? Oh my God, dude. That is the... I was actually watching last night for a little while before I fell asleep. I fell asleep to them. I actually was watching Enforcer. And they were right. I have to say, there were some things they were saying. I was like, yep, they're right. You don't stop now. You can't stop now. Iran will win. They'll look at that as a win. We waited the United States out. We hung in there. We got hit hard. We knew that was going to happen, but we survived. And this goes on. 2, it's going to take months, which I think is more likely. This is going to take months. I don't know how many months, but this is not going to be over in 2 weeks, 4 weeks. This is going to take time. I honestly think it's going to take a few months. So, and then there was the other thing that people think, because they took a poll, that it's going to be a prolonged war. I don't see that. No. But it's going to take time. I mean, if this, and like I said, I wish I can get Commander on, my buddy. But I dare not bother him while he's at work. And, he's got a background. And you hear that we're going in for Karg, but they're reinforcing Karg Island. And they're setting up a lot of lines, defensive posture lines, booby traps, all kinds of stuff. Don't think this is gonna be a walk in the park taking Karg, because they're setting it up to. You got to remember, they want to inflict, even if they lose the island, which they probably will. They're gonna try and inflict as much harm and casualties to our personnel, our military men and women. Remember that. They're going to try their best to cause as much chaos and destruction. And so, I don't know. Do you think nuclear leakage from where? From where, Hungary? Throughout Iran? Throughout Israel? Because they're trying to hit an Israeli nuclear research facility near Dimona. Oh, you brought it up as soon as I said it. I have heard nothing about any kind of leakage from Dimona. They've been trying to hit it. We've been talking about that the last few days. I have not heard anything about that. If that was the truth, that would have been everywhere. Think of it that way. When you hear this or read something, does it have any basis of truth? Because if it did, you would start to see other platforms talking about it, and of course the mainstream media would be all over that. Definitely the Israelis. You know what I mean? I know. I get it. Hungary. Hungry. I keep saying Hungary. Why do I keep saying Hungary like Hungary? No, it's Hungry. I get it. But you've got to remember what the value is there. Goldie, I don't know if this is true. I was watching her a little bit yesterday with Armin. She said they make 300 million per day. That's what she said. From Karg Island. That's what she said. 300 million. I was like, what? 300 million? By filling up these tankers and shipping them out? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. She might be right. I don't know. I haven't looked at the research to see the numbers, if that's accurate. That's a lot of money funneling into the regime and to the IRGC and to the proxies and to wherever else they want the money. It's not going to the people. So if that is true, that island is vital. It will choke them off economically. They're done. You take control of that oil and it's done. It's done. It could happen on either side. Hungary. It could. I was watching Enforcer for a little while before I fell asleep after the Yankee game. A few weeks ago, that even if they hit, it would not cause a nuclear disaster because it's a research. But we don't know necessarily, because that's like a secret facility. Whoa. That's like a secret facility. We don't know exactly what's going on there. The Israelis, I don't know if you can just. Do you want to take that chance? I'm not so sure. I would go that far to say, oh, there's no way there'll be a leakage there. Unless they're doing it way underground, and because that is they claim that's part of their nuclear program, weapons program, heavy water site. I wouldn't, I don't know. To me, that's speculation. Jason, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe they're right. But I wouldn't want to bet on it with absolute certainty that nothing could happen. You know what I mean? Exactly. I mean, everything we hear or see, when I read something, when I show a video, we have to take everything face value. It is. I don't look. This is like a general question. Do you trust anything anybody tells you? Or anyone that you follow or what? I don't know. I question everything. And not because I'm paranoid. Oh no. Mom wants me. Oh my God. She's not feeling well. I gave her cough medicine. She has a sore throat, but I'm doing laundry over here too. This is the way it is, folks. You know that. You're used to it by now. It's not like I can sit here and be not disturbed for any period of time. But heck no. It's not like I'm being paranoid. It's just I question everything. Anything I hear or see, I want to get more. I do research and I want to find out more relevant information regarding whatever it is and see if there's any validity to it. I'm sure a lot of you do that, right? So, all I know. What's up, Chris? The tankers that were not carrying, they're carrying missiles. What? I didn't hear about this. Where did this happen? Because I heard the Russians, somebody said it. I don't know which show I was watching. I don't know who was it. But they said that the Russians are now sending drones to Iran. It was the other way around. Now the Russians are sending drones allegedly to Iran. The tankers were intercepted. But where were these tankers intercepted, Eugene? What? Wait a minute. What? Are they carrying missiles capable of reaching D.C.? What? What? Wait. You got to fill me in on this. Oh, it's all theories and rumors. That's why this happened in the first place? See, I don't know. I've heard nothing of that. I have not heard that rumor. Well, oh my God, the phone was going off last night like crazy again. I left it on though. Oh my God. You know what I did to avoid the phone from being heard with all the alerts throughout the night? I had to play thunderstorm sleep meditation music because I fall asleep to that on this device to drown out the sound on my phone. I was like, oh my God, I slept good though. What's up, Kenny? No, yeah, he was just, I think Eugene was just giving an example of some of the stuff that's put out there. You know, like speculation and stories and rumors, and he's giving an example, I believe. Yeah, that's the thing. Trying to filter. Oh, that was from a Green Beret? Abe Lincoln out of service for a year. Where did that come from? He's absolutely informed. Yeah, I should turn him off at night. Hungry, I should. It's because it's not like I'm going to get up and start streaming. Who said the Abe Lincoln is out of service for a year? Where did that rumor come from? I wonder what's going on with the Ford that was supposed to go back and get repairs, maintenance issues. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I'm going to look it up. I haven't heard nothing about that. All the posts are old about it. On X. Has anybody heard any distinct status about the Ford? Here's one from Ford will return from repairs in 5 days. This was posted on the 24th. So the Ford is undergoing repairs. It has returned to Crete for repairs after a non-combat. We know about the fire and the laundry. They're saying it's coming back within 5 days. They say, officials say repair work could take at least a week. Okay, so look, March 25th. Now, see, even an article like this, I don't trust. Why? How do we know that this is not a stock photo? How do we know? Let me get the display capture. How do we know that's not a stock photo? This is claiming that it's docked. This is the 25th, which was, what, yesterday? The U.S. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, is docked in Crete for repairs. Sources say maintenance could take 12 to 14 months. What? Potentially impacted the entire... See, but who knows? This is what I mean. Another one said it'll be back in 5 days. So what are you to believe? That's what I mean. There's so much stuff out there. So much slant. It's hard to believe any of this stuff. Do you know what I mean? More than just a laundry fire, damage on stern. I've heard nothing of that. The Lincoln is supposed to be next on deck to retire, but I haven't heard it was hit. I think my friend told me hungry that Saudi Arabia may get involved. He told me that on the phone yesterday. That's what my friend told me on the phone yesterday. And he's a veteran. In 91, he was in combat missions in Iraq, flying, and he's currently working for a contractor. So, I don't know what, that's like I said, it's hard to believe anything you really see. I'm trying to see if there's anything more there. And a lot of this 14-month shit is coming from pro-regime people. I'm starting to see the pattern now as I scroll down. And people will feed into it, and they'll buy it. You have to look at the source as well, and look at their pattern of comments, their behavior, and where they stand. You could see it. You could actually see a pattern developing when you do a little more digging. Because I'm doing that right now. See, like this one says. Look what this one says. It's different. The ship requires at least a week of repairs. It will be replaced by the aircraft carrier for Bush. The Bush. Yes, that's the problem, Kenny. People run with everything. Now, we can all speculate. There's nothing wrong with that. But you could see there's a pattern. I have not heard that the Bush is coming. Has anybody heard the Bush is on the way? We've been talking about the Bush for like over a month. Oh, the Bush is going to be heading over there. You know what I mean? The Ford does need to go home. They're almost at 10 months at sea. They need to go home. They need to be relieved, period. Regardless of whatever is going on, whatever rumors, whatever speculation, they need to go back home. And yes, they need to send the replacement, the Bush or whatever, to fill the void if you're going to continue this for any prolonged period of time. Oh, God. But I mean, there's so much out there. I'm still looking because I haven't really dug into this. Nothing like a lot of the posts are old. There's only a few that are more updated. And I'm not going to obsess on this particular thing. Now, I want to just see. curious. Unbelievable. I see where it's coming from now too. Oh my God! They're even showing photos. Oh my God! Look at this. Do you want to see something? This is. I shouldn't even do it because I might get in trouble. Okay. Check this out. Check this post out. I'll just read it and just leave it at that. Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier is out of service. After 2 devastating attacks in previous days, the U.S. carrier has rendered inoperable. An Iranian surveillance drone is closely following its agony. Dozens dead and avionics losses are... and then they show a video. This is so beyond bullshit, but you could believe that people will believe this. You know that, right? Look. It's insane. And that's why I say you got to be very careful. Look at that. And that's actually horrible to make that claim that dozens have been killed, that it's on fire. They would love that. They would love to do that. And then CENTCOM has to come out, or Department of War, or whatever, and say fake. It's like they actually have to come out and tell people, because they know it's all over social media. That's fake. And that's crazy that they actually have to come out and say fake news. You know what I mean? Exactly. So that's just examples that we have to be very, very careful of anything that's out there. And when I put things up, it's coming out in real time on Telegram. And you got to look. I'm getting it from Israeli sources. I'm getting it from the pro-media outlet for the regime. Because I want to see what both sides are saying. And they might be saying 2 different things about the same incident. And spinning it. That goes with the territory. Like, when something happens, obviously, on either side, one side is, like, enjoying what's going on. The other side is denying. Or not even showing anything. Or they're celebrating a lot. You got to see the posts that come out from the regime side. They are celebrating it. What's happening in Israel, they're celebrating it. They get all excited. It's like bizarre. Let me see what's going on here. I'm going to show a couple of photos and stuff. Remember at the beginning when they hit somewhere in Bandar Abbas, and there was they didn't know if it was a gas leak. Remember that? The gas leaks? And they said that the Navy commander was taken out in Bandar Abbas. Well, he may have been taken out for real now. Like I said, take this for what it's worth. Times of Israel. IDF confirms killing IRGC Navy commander, saying strike also killed Navy's intel chief and the rest of the Navy leadership. Now, I have not verified this. This is just coming out now. From Telegram. I don't know. Is this yet confirmed? This is what they're reporting. Until I dig a little bit more, I'm skeptical. I have to be. But that's what they're claiming. Key word, claiming. How do I know? Now, when more information comes out to confirm this, then I'll say, okay. You know what I mean? But until that, I have to find out more information about that. I mean, we could run with it. It's speculation. For me, it's speculation. They're making it sound like it happened. That's a fact. I cannot sit here and say that that is actually happening until I get more confirmation that that really did happen. Or any of you. Right? You got to try to see if certain things that come out have any validity, credibility. In other words, they got to be vetted. What's up, JC? What's up, Chris? Hold on. The other Israeli reporters are putting this out there too. Ali Reza Tansiri. They say he's responsible among other things for closing the Strait of Hormuz. This is what they're claiming. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And now they are like reconfirming it. Overnight, the Israeli Air Force, acting on precise IDF and Navy intelligence, conducted a precise strike in Bandar Abbas. Here we go. I just mentioned it. Remember the gas leak? The first one? Remember that? And they said that they were targeting the Navy commander? But the Iranians were saying it was a gas leak. Remember that? The first one. Well, he was in Bandar Abbas. And here is an image coming from an Amir who I follow. Right here. This just came out on Telegram. What's up, Jason? Oh, really? CENTCOM did, Jason? I knew they were going to come out. I knew it. I said it. I knew CENTCOM would come out and say, fake. Bullshit. It's crazy that they got to actually do that. Because they know it's rampant on social media and whatever. It's like they got to come out and say, BS. It's really cray-cray. The UAE Ministry of Defense today, they said, today we intercepted 15 ballistic missiles and 11 drones that came from Iran. Since the beginning of the war, what is that number? 372 ballistic missiles, 15 cruise missiles, and 1,826 drones have been launched toward us. This is what the UAE is saying. Now, it's in Arabic, but this is the statement they put out today. Now, this is an actual document from the UAE. Allegedly. But that's what this is claiming. So, God only knows. But I'm just showing you examples. What is this? Oh, this has to do more with something else. Okay. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Now, let me see some of the stuff. Not much. There wasn't much available overnight on Telegram, which is usually where I get a lot of stuff, videos, and I don't want to say it was quiet because a lot of stuff was going on, but it is like the upside down. I want to check if there's a CENTCOM statement on that, about the carrier. I'm going to look for that in a second. I had a feeling they were going to do it, though. I know I got a couple of the Truth Social posts. Okay, that's the picture of the guy that they took out. I already showed you that. I downloaded it. It kind of looks like Mr. Potato Head, too. Kind of looks the same. Here's a True Social. NATO nations have done absolutely nothing to help with the lunatic nation, now militarily decimated, of Iran. The USA needs nothing from NATO, but never forget this very important point in time. and another True Social post, I believe. The Iranian negotiators are very different and strange. They are begging us to make a deal, which they should be doing since they have been militarily obliterated with zero chance of a comeback, and yet they publicly state that they are only looking at our proposal. Wrong. They better get serious soon before it's too late, because once that happens, there is no turning back and it won't be pretty. He needs to, what I think he needs to do, and he does this on purpose to put it out there, he just needs to do what he's got to do. See, he's telling everybody that we tried to send them a 14-point plan, which is really conditions of surrender. You're pretty much... Then Iran came back with their own proposal. And once we seen that, we knew nothing was going to happen here. And we knew the IRGC was going to reject it. That was no surprise. We kind of discussed it here before it even came public. It was not a surprise. All right, what is this? And these are just interceptions this morning in Israel. So it's not like it hasn't stopped. So, as we speak, there's been stuff going on all night. Manama, Bahrain, a U.S. sailor was injured aboard Abraham Lincoln while the aircraft carrier was conducting flight operations in the area. The injury is not... stuff happens too. Stuff happens. I saw a video, I don't know who it was, that was showing it. Oh, it was Enforcer last night. How an F-15 got maybe clipped. And they're all partying on the bottom. They're all celebrating. But they were celebrating like, oh, we got one. It didn't, thank God. They were able to get back. But then they showed videos of these warthogs flying really low and vulnerable. I'm like, they're slow moving. You really are putting them at risk unless you are offshore. But then they're showing, come on, be a little bit more careful. Be a little bit more careful. This is 1 hour ago. Yeah, I see the article now on CENTCOM's X account. We'll get into that in a second. But they just released this. An hour ago. Okay, it's looping. Wow, look at it hiding like under trees. Like Tusi was saying, they're hiding in tunnels. They're doing their little gatherings in tunnels now, like overpasses. USS Abraham Lincoln continues flight operations against military targets in Iran while sailing in regional waters. So, I'm sure they've put this out there because there's been stories that the Lincoln is not operational. We know that's going to happen. They've done that numerous times, by the way. They said that the Lincoln was struck, and that's happened actually a few times already. It's not new. Oh, fact check. This is old, though. Let's check the fact check. Yeah, see, I just talked about the F-18 fighter jet. No, it did not come down. It was able to get back, but it... See? Same thing. False. And this happens every day. Every day. It's cray-cray. Every day. And what happened? What's going on? haven't heard that one about the Vietnam thing. But anyway, you get the idea. There's so much stuff out there. It is crazy. By the way, on a side note, I just want to show you guys something that I did yesterday that I was talking about that I was going to work on. I started. It's going to rain later. I was going to go bike riding today, but it's cloudy, and I don't like going riding when it's cloudy and it's going to be in the 60s. Could be a little windy. I want to go when it's nice and sunny and warm. I ain't up for that. But I was going to go. Maybe I'll just rest. All right, which is the photo? Is it this one? So I started yesterday. I have a lot to do. Do not think there's a lot to be done. It's only one side. I started my project. See how I did it? I only did the one side. I still got to do the other two sides. And then I got to take concrete dye, redo it. See how I made the design? I sculpted it. This time I used a broken tree branch. And I'm going like this. I'm taking a brush to clean it all up. And I give it a little rough look on purpose so it looks like it's actual stone. Follow? I got to give it a little. I don't want to make it completely smooth because I want it to actually mimic stone. Like if it's real stone. So I did that one side yesterday. On a side note. So I'm always busy. Always. Oh no. Please God, no. Who is it? All right. I'm live. What's going on here now? You guys are having a debate. That's fine. Let's see if there's anything else coming up. All right, let me close that door for a second, folks. Believe me, if it wasn't going to rain today, I'd be out there again. Well, we're supposed to get like a 1/4 inch of rain tonight. Otherwise, I'd be out there right now. Projects, spring projects. Let's see. Iran International is also reporting about the IRGC Navy intelligence chief being eliminated. Just saying. This is 35 minutes ago from Iran International. Senior Islamic Republic generals were sheltering in deep bunkers while ordinary soldiers on the ground were left unprotected. Admiral Brad Cooper told Iran International. Cooper said he observed the pattern across multiple locations, adding that the generals are protected, the people are not. Again, that's what the admiral supposedly said. No, but see, that's fine. The foreign minister, 47 minutes ago, said in an interview broadcast on state television on Wednesday that no talks were being held with the U.S. and that Iran would attack U.S. interests wherever it saw them. Didn't they say they were going to put him on an immunity list with Ghalibaf? Take them off the list right now. If they haven't been taken off already. Remember that 4-5 day immunity talk? This is 53 minutes ago on Iran International. Iranian police said on Thursday they had blocked 61 bank accounts belonging to users of Starlink satellite internet in the central city of Yazd as part of a broader crackdown on unauthorized connectivity. You think they want information coming out of Iran? You think they want the world to see exactly what's going on in Iran every day, every night? Hell no. Because they have to project an image. We're winning. We destroyed all the U.S. bases. We hit the Lincoln. We did this. We took our planes. They don't want the people to see what truly is going on. Definitely not videos of people terrorizing the streets of Iran, firing up in the air at people on balconies or on streets. The Basij terrorizing their own people. No, of course they don't want people to see that. Oh, this is interesting. Iran should withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty immediately. Iran must leave this treaty as soon as possible, Tasneem said. It's the news agency in Iran, an IRGC affiliated one, arguing that the membership has brought no benefit and instead enabled the United States and Israel to gather intelligence on its nuclear program. The outlet also accused the International Atomic Energy Agency of facilitating access to information used in attacks on Iran facilities and said Tehran should exit the treaty while continuing its stated pursuit of peaceful nuclear energy. Now, remember when I was showing you guys the IAEA reports and how Iran was denying access, shutting off cameras, surveillance for over 4 years? I have the documents. It's funny how they tried to flip it. The IAEA was frustrated because they were getting nothing from Iran. And that's just the recent stuff. Remember I kept telling you about the 4 other locations that they have absolutely no clue what was going on in the 90s and early 2000s? No information at all. So they'll spin it that the IAEA is now leaking information to the enemy and letting them know what we were doing. No, they don't know what you were doing because you freaking blocked them at every possible area, throwing inspectors out, shutting off surveillance cameras. That is such bullshit. If you read the report, I have the report. It's crazy. I have the report. Remember, you guys, some of you that have been here for a while, you've seen me share that report and read it to you. Both the non-proliferation treaty aspect of it and the inspectors doing what they do. That is absolute bullshit. Like when Putin says, oh, they've been transparent. Oh, hell no, they have not. It's not what the IAEA report says. And that was right before the 12-day started. My friend told me that Iran drones and missiles can't reach the USA, but what? But can they? But nobody knows. I highly doubt. Those drones are short range. They're not that long. Missiles, you don't know. You don't know you just don't know. Are the Russians helping them with technology? China? Do you guys remember the launch that happened? I gotta look it up. This happened like a month ago or so, before all this even started. Right here. This one. And I remember this. It was January 21st. Watch. If you guys don't remember this. I do. Hold on. Iran has reportedly conducted its first successful test of an intercontinental ballistic missile with a claimed range of 10,000 kilometers. This missile was launched towards Siberia with Russia's permission, and if accurate, would theoretically enable strikes on the U.S. East Coast, including New York and Washington, D.C. During an interview at the World Economic Forum in Davos, the president addressed the situation in Iran. He stated that the Iranian authorities had planned to, well, we know about that whole story. So I don't know, again, if this was true, but there was talk of this. Now, could this have been the talk to set up the reasoning of going after Iran? Because I never really dug into this. No, don't take this for being real. This was a report. Do not take this as fact. This is what was said. I remember this, reading about this. Now, that was out there, and I'm like, so they're testing long-range ICBMs? And now this is old. Remember, this is from January. The point being is, did that happen? Did they actually launch, and the Russians gave them permission to go towards Siberia? Testing of their first longer-range ICBM? So then, yeah, they potentially do. If that's true, yeah, they do potentially have a threat to us. Yes. Or do you wait for them to come up with the technology to achieve that length to reach the U.S.? Again, I don't know if that was true. I don't know if that was true. But I remember reading about that. And that's all I could, that's all I can go on. I don't know. Hold on, let me put Jerusalem back. Oh, that's not the one. Why did it do that? There we go. I'm sharing multiple monitors. Kenny says, NBC, CNN, and all them say that Iran doesn't have missiles that can go that far. Again, I don't think they have it right now. I don't know if that they're claiming that was their first long-range ICBM test towards Siberia. I don't know if that's true. I'm not saying it is. Oh my God. Eugene, that's a good point. If they were to bring it somewhere else, closer, like to South America, oh, then it's definitely in range. That's a good point. Doesn't have to be launched from Iran. They could smuggle it into a country that's unfriendly in South America. That's an excellent point. That cuts down the range quite significantly. Yeah, but I could never say anything definitively for 100% and say that it's not possible. Because we're dealing with some real lunatics with hate, absolute hate for the United States. And I would never underestimate a risk. That's just me, though. Never. My thing is, I am going to prevent that from even being a possibility. That's more rational to me. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that that's not the case. You know what I mean? It's better to be preemptive than reactive. I want to make sure that is never the case. So I don't know. But who knows? But I agree. If that ever were to occur, I mean, my gosh. I don't think that is like something that would actually be a reality, but one can never say that it's not possible. What is this? Hold on, I want to go back to Iran International. Because there's a lot of people, like individuals post stuff. I don't trust them because they're putting out propaganda and I cannot run with it. All right, there's the Starlink. There's the thing about the dropping out of the MPT. So there's people still out in the streets lighting up images of the former Supreme Mouse. Allegedly, this was sent in 2 hours ago to Iran International. I don't know if it's true. I don't know why it's not getting larger. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh my God. This thing is acting glitchy. Again, when you see a video like this, right? When you see a video like this, you would think the image of the new mouse would be up there. How do we know when this was filmed? How do we know? I'm going to put it on the screen now. Because I have to vet certain things now because sometimes there's images that are graphic and I don't want it to be seen. So I have to be very careful with that. It's happened a couple of times and I don't want that to happen. So how do we know when this was recorded or filmed? How do we know? Well, there's not many people on the streets. But I have to question everything. That's the point. Question everything. I can't be sure of that. I don't know when that video was taken. It'd be crazy. But that's, that's what's out there on Iran International. So somebody mentioned this in chat. I don't know if it was Jason. A U.S. Navy sailor was injured aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln while the aircraft carrier was conducting flight operations in the Arabian Sea on Wednesday. The injury was not combat related and was not life-threatening. Oh, now they're downplaying. They're posting it here too about the Navy commander, the IRC Navy commander being taken out. Oh shit. Axios this morning reported, again, take it for what it's worth. It's Axios. The Pentagon is preparing military operations with possible final blow against Iran, including ground operations and a large-scale bombing campaign, according to Axios. The report said options under discussion include seizing or blockading key islands such as Karg, Larak, and Abu Musa, as well as targeting Iranian oil exports and potentially conducting strikes on operations against nuclear facilities. They've been doing that. Axios said U.S. officials view a major escalation as more likely if diplomacy fails. It's done. There's no diplomacy. Or if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, though no decision has been made and some plans are described as hypothetical. The report also said additional U.S. forces, including thousands of troops and air assets, are being deployed to the region. We know that. A source involved in the mediation efforts told Axios that Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey are also working to organize talks. Good luck with that. But mistrust is the problem. The commander of the IRGC is very skeptical, but the medias haven't given up. Give me a break. The medias have no power. It's the IRGC. I said that 1,000 times. It doesn't matter what these puppets talk. The IRGC is not going to accept it. It's so nonsensical. Nonsensical. You're talking to people, they're puppets. You got to deal with the IRGC. They're not going along with it. Are you kidding me? It's so stupid. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know if this is true. Oh my God. I don't know if this is true. I mean, this is crazy. If this is true, this is just nuts. This is what Iran International is putting up. Children as young as 12 can join war support, IRGC says. What? 4 hours ago. What? An official from Iranian's Revolutionary Guard said the minimum age for participation in war-related support roles have been lowered to 12. Oh, if that's true, this is just insanely sick. Rahim Nadali, a cultural official with the guards in Tehran, said an initiative called For Iran was recruiting participants to assist with activities such as patrols, checkpoints, and logistics. They're trying to recruit the children. Given this almost sounds like something that happened in Germany toward the end of the fucking war. Given that the age of those coming forward has dropped and they are asking to take part, children are asking to take part. We lowered the minimum age to 12, adding that 12 and 13-year-olds could now take part if they wished. Oh, that's sick. If true, if Iran International is reporting this, and if this is true, the comments were broadcast as part of state coverage of the war effort. The move comes despite Iran's commitments under the Convention of the Rights of the Child, which prohibits the use of children in military activities. Oh, that's just... If that's true, that's sick. Do you remember... Well, I don't know. So, you are aware that in Germany, toward the end of the war, they were recruiting children. Oh, they also had that part. Oh my God. What was it? I don't want to say the word, but it was the Hitler Youth. Do you guys recall Hitler Youth? But toward the end of the war, there was actually children being used because they were depleted, and a lot of them lost their life. That's horrific. And now we hear this with Iran. If this is true, 12, 13-year-olds. Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. What the fuck? Oh, and it's funny because they put a picture in the comments, exactly what I was just talking about. It was toward the end of the war. It was one of Hitler's last appearances. There you go. Right there. Children. For those that know history. And they're showing it here. This is not the first time. Oh, that is sick. I don't even want to share this. Sick. So yeah, there was reports earlier this morning of the explosions in Bandar Abbas. And that was to take out that Navy commander. Hold on, China. China urged all parties on Thursday to work toward launching peace talks to end the war. Quote, the pressing priority is to actively promote peace talks, seize the opportunity of peace, and promote the cessation of the war. Foreign Ministry spokesman said. He added that the country should create conditions for starting truly meaningful and sincere peace talks. Yeah, we'll see what you say when you try to take Taiwan, if that happens. This is our territory. They're not going to want to hear a word when it comes to them. They'll justify that. And this is the video. I don't know who showed it. I don't know if it was Tusi. It's not, I don't know if it's exactly the same video, but on how they're shooting at people up in the balconies and I think it was Tusi. Look at them. I would have targeted that. Look at them. I would take out anyone who has these green lights pointing upward. These laser sights. I would take them all out if I could. That is sick. They're targeting the people in the buildings. You can't make this shit up. Like, that's just insane. I don't want to hear anything from the UN. Nothing. You guys probably heard what happened at Kuwait International. See, this is the guy. He mocked the president. This is old. This is old, but this is the guy that's out there that I'm surprised they haven't gotten yet. This one, mocking the president. This is like a week ago, so this is old. But this is guy, he's still out there. Remember, this is a week old. He's mocking the president. He's still out there. This guy's responsible for a lot of the shit that's going on the streets in Iran. This guy right here. The head of the police. He did? Tusi brought it up, Francis, about the age of the IRGC? Good on Tusi. He caught it. His people caught it. Whoever helps him. But this clown, he's got to go. He needs to go. They need to find him. Seems like everybody else was taken out. They got to find this dude. He's probably hiding underground somewhere. Oh boy. There's so much going on now that I'm reading. But again, a lot is regurgitation. That's the sad part about everything. It's like regurgitating the same old thing. It's hard. Oh, I knew that was going to come out. I just said it earlier. Israel removed Iran's foreign minister and parliament speaker Ghalibaf from its hit list. They removed it from its hit list after Pakistan asked Washington not to target them, Reuters reported on Thursday. The Israelis had their coordinates and wanted to take them out. We told the U.S. if they also eliminated them, then there is no one else to talk to. Well, the IRGC said there's nothing to talk about. So they're puppets. They're worthless. This is crazy. There's no one else to talk to. So if they're gone, they just made the statement, the Pakistanis just made the statement that if you take them out, there's no one else to talk to? So what does that say about all the parliament members that still are intact, that are debt to America and all the other stuff? I guess you can't talk to them, right? Oh my God. This is crazy. The Israelis had their coordinates and wanted to take them out. We told the U.S. if they also eliminated them, then there is no one else to talk to. Hence, the U.S. asked the Israelis to back off, an official said. There's no one else to talk to? So is this like the last act of desperation? Those are the only two ones left to talk to, is the foreign minister and Ghalibaf? Meanwhile, Ghalibaf has been posting all kinds of crazy shit against the United States in recent days. This is almost laughable. So that tells me the job is not done. Those are the only... Just listen to that. The Israelis had their coordinates and wanted to take them out. We told the U.S. if they are also eliminated, then there is no one else to talk to. Hence, the U.S. asked the Israelis to back off. Oh my God. Have you played the video that shows the car flying yet? No. Where did that happen? I seen the video on a post. Where did that happen, Dark Lord? Sorry, Dark Lord. I saw that video. Amir, I think, posted it. I'm gonna go check it out. That is a wild looking video. I didn't download it though. I might do it now. Wait. Okay, in this recent video, the commander of the IRGC Navy is casually threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz with his Timu Navy. But now he's dead, and the war boat he's sitting on is at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Hold on. I'm going to get to that video. Wait a minute. Oh, that's on that drone carrier that is now sunk. Look at the planes, the drones in the background, allegedly. He's gone. They took him out early this morning. He's gone. The reports are coming in all over the place now. Oh, shit. The pager operation has been upgraded. This just got posted a half hour ago. Reports from Iran claim that dozens of Islamic Revolutionary Guard soldiers were killed in Shiraz after opening canned fish. Canned fish has effectively become a deadly hazard in Iran. Since last night, it has claimed that Israel has been dropping canned fish from the air as food supplies to the IRGC ground forces, and anyone who handled these cans experienced explosions similar to the booby trap devices seen in Lebanon. In Shiraz, this is bizarre. In Shiraz, the number of casualties is reported to be significant. What? Is this true? What? Canned fish being dropped to IGC like it's a resupply and they're opening it and it's exploding? What the hell is that? Again, everything I tell you, I'm reading it from reporters from Israel on Telegram. Take it with a pile. That's all I'm going to say. I did see that video. I'm trying to find it. It is wild. It's just that they post so much stuff. And I got to figure out which is the one that posted it. Yeah, it's coming in all over the place that they took out that Navy commander in Bandar Abbas. It's all over the place. Now it's starting to spread. I'm trying to find the video. Isn't that crazy though? Here it is. I found it. So this was in Kfar Qasem. That is crazy. Let me go back. Wow. That is crazy. Let me know if Tusi's going live. Wow. That is crazy. Wow. Israel News posted that. Uh-oh, the other side is putting stuff out. Let's see what's going on. In a little while. It doesn't even make sense. Hezbollah launched an air defense missile towards the helicopters, forcing them to retreat. That's confusing. You see, they had put it here at Pakistan's request. That's the article I just told you that they were told not to target them. Ghalibaf and the foreign minister. Two people were killed and 3 others injured in Abu Dhabi on Thursday after debris fell following the interception of a ballistic missile. Something's going on here. Ambulance. Alexa, stop. I don't want to hear from them. We are ready to secure any peace. Alexa, stop. Germany was ready to help secure any peace agreement between the United States and Iran, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said on Thursday. They need to stop. The IRGC is never going to agree to it. Never to those terms. They might as well just surrender. They're not going to surrender. It's insane. They need to just be quiet. Either you're going to help or you're not. Just shut up. It's not helping. Oh, well, we're willing to help. Uh-oh. The alerts are going off. Something's going off on my phone in the other room. Oh yeah, it's going off. I better go get my phone. Where's my phone? That's the alerts coming for Israel. Mom is like, what's going on? It's my phone. Alerts Israel. North, confrontation line. Oh, I don't know if I have the northern Israel camera. I think I do. Not that we're going to see anything, but. Oh, shit. My neighbor. This is what my neighbor just wrote, the other one. This is what I mean about having good relations like with your neighbors. To me, that's really important. Hey, Bill, it's Alyssa from next door. We will be away starting tomorrow morning to Tuesday night. My mom will be checking the mail and has the front door keys. She drives a black Toyota SUV because I keep an eye on, kind of in charge, caretaker of the property next door. We told Josh, the guy that lives on the other side, we will be away as well. If it's not too much, will you keep an eye on the house too? You can never be too safe. LOL. I said, I absolutely will. Have a great time to both of you. See? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice thing. Oh, ABC is reporting it now. That he was taken out. Now they're reporting it. Head of Navy Intelligence for IRGC killed. Now the other media, the mainstream media, is covering it now. What is going on here? There's a lot of this activity. What is going on here? I've been hearing these sirens. Cattle. There's a lot going on. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. How many exploding cans of fish does it take before a company figures it out? I thought you were going to say, like, that was going to be part of some kind of joke. Like, how many people does it take to change a light bulb? You know, like, oh my God. My mind was going off on a crazy tangent. Just imagine the chaos even if you discover the fish cans were going boom, that soldiers couldn't help themselves. What? Your neighbors are currently arguing at midnight? Oh my God. I live too far away from people to really hear what's going on anyway. They're far. The woods is on this side, so I don't have that kind of a problem. I would say it's 150 feet that way at an angle. He has a huge yard. It's 120 feet this way and about 100 this way. And forget about this side. There's nothing there. So I don't really have to worry about that too much. I used to have acoustic drums. I could play my music loud, do whatever. Except at night in the summer, I tend to respect everybody. At 10 o'clock is the latest I'll put loud music because it's so quiet up here. You know how that is. When it's so quiet, you hear everything. So if I had my music on, I'm sure everybody would hear it because there's no other sounds. You know what I mean? Oh my God. I want to know if this fish can story is true, that they were dropping fish cans that were exploding to the IRGC. I got to see if this is true. I got to see if this is true with this exploding fish can story. I'm going to look this up because I wouldn't pass it by them to do something like this. I typed in fish can exploding and some weird shit came up. I'm not seeing it on any X accounts at all. None. I gotta see if this is true. Oh shit. The other side just put something out. Oh shit, there's a video of it too. Listen to this. The other side put this out. You ready? Oh my God. In a cowardly Zionist American attack on residential Shiraz, explosive cans of disguised as tuna tins were thrown into civilian areas. They're saying it was thrown into civilian areas, not IRGC. Martyring and injuring innocent Iranians. The axis of resistance will respond with crushing force. The criminal empire and its Zionist masters will pay dearly for every drop of Iranian blood. So I guess it's true. Smells fishy? Oh, I should be on my drums. Dun-dun-dun. This is crazy. Wait a second. Wait.
این نمونه بمبایی است که توسط جنگنده ریخته شده تو روستا. خیلی باید مواظب باشن خانواده ها، اگر همچین چیزی دیدن دست بهش نزنن، صبر کنن تا بچهای چک و خونسا بیاد خونساش کنه. به هیچ عنوان نزدیکیش هم نشید.
اهالی محترم، لطفاً از منازل خود خارج نشوید. پشت پنجره ها نباشید و پنجره خودتون رو باز کنید.
I don't know how it's getting innocent civilians when they're all inside trapped in their homes. It's you fuckers that are on the street terrorizing the people. Right away, oh, it was harming innocent people, civilians, martyring them. No, it's you, I don't want to curse, you lowlives that are terrorizing the people that this is affecting. Stay away from the tuna. But give me a break. Oh, please stop crying about it. But you see, it's actually, there's videos coming out of it that this could possibly be true. This is going to trend. You know this is going to go all over the place. The exploding tuna cans. And this is not funny because people, you know, it's not a joke. But my God, exploding tuna cans. I'm trying not to laugh either. I'm trying. But it's just bizarre. Exploding tuna cans. And it says on the other post that a lot of IRGC people fell for it. Exactly. That's not intended for civilians. They're going to spin it like it's harming civilians. Now, we have to be careful with that because we don't know if an innocent civilian is on the street and finds this can on the ground and touches it.
Home front command update. Incident ended.
I mean, curiosity, like the pages. Yes, Kenny. Yes, and that's what that article said. This is the upgraded version of the pager. That was the initial Israeli report. Like, that was their little... I guess they were trying to... I don't know. But yeah, that's crazy. Exploding tuna cans. Wow. That is wild. It's the only one... Okay, and I can't share it, okay? Because it's Fox, and I don't want to get in trouble. The head of Iran's IRGC Navy, who was directly commanded of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, was targeted. Tangsiri was the senior leadership at the Naval Center. The current assessment is a successful elimination. Now, I'm going to play the Fox News clip, but I can't show it because I'll get in trouble. But I do want to hear it.
IRGC Navy Commander Ali Reza Tangsiri was targeted overnight in a strike in the city of Bandar Abbas, Iran, according to a senior Israeli official. Tangsiri was directly responsible for commanding the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. I'm told his senior operational leadership, including intelligence and operations chiefs, were at a covert Navy command center. That, again, according to a senior Israeli official. We understand the battle damage assessment is ongoing, but they believe that he was killed in this strike. It was a targeted strike based on U.S. and Israeli intelligence that continues, according to this source, to demonstrate how deeply the U.S. and Israel are capable of using intelligence operations to penetrate IRGC leadership. Now, this does come as we start.
Okay. Now, people might say, why does that matter? When you take out commanders, people in charge, and you leave it to people that have no experience, and it turns into a real shit show. Who's running it? Who's in charge of strategic organizational command and control structure? Inexperienced people to lead the charge? You want top commanders involved, people with a lot of years of experience and training. You eliminate this, that's a big deal. And like somebody just put in chat, who was it? Kenny, Iran barely has any leaders left of any level. Basij, IRGC, regime. And yeah, you can replace them. People say, well, they'll replace them with another. Yeah, a person with a lot less experience. You're undermining their command and control. This is big. I mean, it definitely has an impact. Let's just say that. So even Fox News is reporting it now. Exactly, Dark Lord. I did it again. Why is that stumbling me this morning? Larry, Curly, and Mo are in charge. Exactly. It's incompetent. It's almost laughable like that, like the Three Stooges. It's incompetent. I wouldn't feel too good if I was in this situation and I was part of that military, knowing who the hell is in charge. Who do I take orders from? I'm taking orders from him now? Who the hell is he? This is just desperation to survive right now. And that's why I say you can't let up. You got them in such a position. And yeah, they're still launching this and they're still threatening this and this, but we're never, ever, I don't think we'll ever, ever be in this kind of an opportunity to take these fuckers out once and for all. If you stop now and you don't finish the job, it was all for nothing, because it's going to happen again in the future. This is an opportunity that cannot be wasted, and the opportunity for the Iranian people to try to take back their country. That's not guaranteed, but at least they have the effort to try. The opportunity to try. And you must weaken the security forces by siege, IRGC, in order for that to even be a possibility. Do people not understand this? What's up, Birdman? I still can't get over this tuna story, though. That's going to be bugging me all day. This exploding tuna can story. You could see there's videos of it out there now. One video. Oh, my neighbor. Thank you so much. Appreciate you helping out. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, it's only 10:17 here, which means it's 4:17 in Israel, Lebanon, and 5. Oh my God, the math in the head. 5:47 in Iran. Now those 5 days are done because that was earlier in the week, right? Tomorrow's Friday. After the market closes, oh boy. Now I don't know what's there. Whatever happened to the Tripoli and the Boxer? Where are they? These amphibious groups, where are they? That's another question. And yes, the reports of the Abraham Lincoln being out of service are false. All right, hold on. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't subscribe because they want to charge. That's why I didn't subscribe to them, because they want to charge $5 a month. There 55 seconds ago, Iran said diplomacy has not stopped, but who is Iran? When they say Iran said diplomacy has not stopped, but there is still no realistic plan for negotiations with the United States, a senior Iranian official told Reuters on Thursday. Who is this Iran person? When they say Iran said, well, what do you mean Iran said? A senior official said. Is it an IRGC senior official? Or is it one of these ass clowns that pretend to be some kind of leadership role in Iran? That the IRGC do not recognize their power or negotiative. It's just bullshit. Tripoli is loading supplies at Diego Garcia. Thank you, Kenny. They're not far then. They're not far. You know? Yeah, who is this person? Who are these people? Is it Galibaf? Is it the foreign minister? Is it the president? Because those are the only three that I know of left, really. Other than the parliamentary nut jobs. Tripoli to be in Central Command tomorrow. Thank you, Keith, for that update. Where's the Boxer? Where's the other one? Anybody? And let me know if Tusi goes live, because I'm watching Tusi and relaxing. Okay, this was 6 minutes ago. We read this yesterday, the Iranian points, and Tusi mentioned them too yesterday. Iranian media reports Tehran has formally delivered its response to Trump's 15-point proposal, 14-point proposal, whatever, and is now awaiting a U.S. reply. According to the intelligence source cited by Tasnim, demands an end to all enemy actions before progress. You think the United States is going to stop? Calls for guarantee to prevent renewal of war. Are you nuts? Seeks compensation for war damages. Oh, you really are delusional. Insists the war must end across all fronts and allied groups. Demands recognition of Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. At the same time, Iran claims negotiations with the U.S. are a deception. Washington is trying to project peace while preparing escalation. Allegation of buying time for a potential ground operation in southern Iran. It was listed on the U.S. and Fleet Tracker, but they could have left by now. It's always a day or two behind. Yeah. Oh my God. 32 minutes ago. Reports of an airstrike in Babalsar, Mazandaran province in northern Iran. It's developing. I don't know. This was a few minutes ago. Meanwhile, this is going on. Iran has been constantly getting bombarded. Cabinet meeting about to begin at the White House? Oh, that's interesting. Is it televised, or is it a public cabinet hearing, or is it... No, it's not true.
Hostile aircraft intrusion. Alarm.
There's a lot of false, fake stuff out there, Niche. Lot of fake stuff. Be careful. That's like they said that the carrier got hit. It's out of commission. Don't buy into anything. That an F-18 was taken down. No, it's false. Fake. Hold on. Cabinet meeting live. This event is going to start soon. All right. I cannot share it on the screen because I'll get hit. But we can listen to it. How's that?
Hostile aircraft intrusion.
And let me know. Good morning, Moses. Or good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. And blessings to all of you. So we'll listen in on this. It says the event will start soon. What time is it scheduled for? Who put that in chat? Angel. What time is it scheduled to start? Because you're the one who brought it up. Tactical tuners are being sent into the region. But this story, Nish, that you missed, there have been reports of exploding tuna cans in Iran that were dropped by, I believe it was the Israelis. And they...
Alarm. Hanita. Shlomi.
And, they were opening them thinking that they were given rations, resupply, and they were exploding. In Shiraz. Or whatever, Shiraz, whatever it's called. That is actually, one side said it, then the other side posted a video about it. That's crazy. But do we have a time on this event when it's supposed to start? The cabinet meeting? I know, right, John? Sounds fishy. Somebody said that earlier. I just hope that no innocent civilians pick up these cans. Because they're not going to tell them. They don't get no information. They don't know what the hell's going on. All right, so nobody has any idea? I don't think I could ask Alexa. Alexa, when does the cabinet meeting start today in Washington, D.C.? It's answering me from another room. Alexa, good morning.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? Alexa, what time is the cabinet meeting in D.C. today?
The cabinet meeting is scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern Time today.
10 a.m. It's 10:30. What happened? Why is it delayed? You can't answer that question. We're scheduled for 10. That's what Alexa said. I don't know. So it's running late, as always. Well, we're gonna have to see when this starts. It says the event starting soon. Let's see what's going on Telegram. This, of course, is northern Israel that you're looking on the screen. All right, the IDF just put this out just now. Search and rescue forces, both reserve and regular forces, are currently operating at the site in northern Israel. Reports of impacts have been received. The public is requested to avoid gathering in these areas. So those alerts that we heard, something impacted. That's what the IDF just put out. The time here is 10:28 a.m. This was supposed to start, it said, at 10, so it's running late. I'm looking at the comments from the one that's going to stream this, and they are bad. Somebody just put, the amount of bots in this effing chat is crazy. Wow. Thank God we don't have that kind of issue here, right? Good morning, Will. It's public. I know I have it on my screen. I just can't show it because I'll get hit. As soon as it starts, I'll mute and we'll listen in. Cannot watch it because, like I said, I do not have permission to air it on video. But we can listen in.
Hostile aircraft intrusion.
North.
Admit.
It's gotta be.
Elon. Arab al-Ramsha.
It's gotta be to the north. Yep. Central, west central, northern Israel. Right on the confrontation line.
Hostile aircraft intrusion. Goren.
And now it's actually all up north now. They added more. So pretty much northern Israel right now. As soon as I try to put the phone down, it goes off. So we're just standing by to see when this starts, the cabinet meeting. And we'll listen in. I'll mute. And we'll see what they have to say in this meeting. Oh, there's more Telegram. What's going on? They're reporting on it now, too. 2 seriously wounded as Hezbollah rocket strikes Nahariya. Times of Israel. Man is in critical conditions. A man in his 20s is in critical, and a man in his 50s is in serious condition at the scene. They just put that out there. Well, you got to remember, Angel, before they go into this meeting, there may be developments going on. he might be a little busy right now. Before they even had the cabinet meeting, there could be information coming in, and they're doing discussions, and before they even get to do the cabinet meeting, they're getting like the latest updates and intel. Anything's possible. Why? What would delay it? You know what I mean? So, and it's often, it happens all the time. All the time. Do you guys ever remember something starting on time? It's usually not on time. And please remind me if Tusi goes live. Alexa, what's the temperature?
It's 55 degrees right now. Today's high will be 74 with a low of 48.
Oh man, that's making me want to think I should go bike riding later. If that's the case, I'll be right back. I have to recharge one other battery from my thing here. This one is full. Okay. What munchies did I buy last night? No, I'm not eating M&Ms. No, no, no. Okay. I'm sorry, but I got a bunch. I haven't had anything yet. These aren't too bad. I had chocolate, now I'm in strawberry. Oh, man. Come on, event. Let's start already. So we're standing by waiting for the cabinet meeting to begin. Alexa, what's the weather for tonight?
Tonight's low will be 48 degrees with rain and drizzle expected.
Can't do it.
There's a 92% chance of rain with about half an inch possible.
Wow. Oh, I'm definitely not doing outdoor work.
Homefront command update.
Clear.
Incident ended. The incident has ended in the following areas.
I was showing earlier.
Malkia, Shlomi,
Incident ended.
Dovev, Dishon, Yiftach, Ramot Naftali.
I was showing earlier, and you guys know, some of you, I started to do the outdoor work on the deck. I got a lot to do. Right there, I started. See my pattern? And when it's painted with concrete dye gray, I let it look a little rough to make it actually look like stone. See how I leave it like little indentations? I sculpt it, I draw the lines, smooth it out a little bit with a paintbrush, with water. So this side is done. I still got the other side and the other. Then I gotta scrape this and regrout the lines and all that BS. I have a lot of work to do out there. But the weather's not cooperating. Oh, here we go.
How are you? Are you all ready? A lot of media, as usual. So thank you to the incredible members of my cabinet. They're doing a phenomenal job. Everybody pretty much agrees to that, including our newest member, Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen. Thank you, Mark. And we all know him very well, and he was a very popular senator, very effective senator. Effective probably being the more important word. JD, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
And we wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
I think you do fantastically well. Congratulations to you. You have an amazing family that were here yesterday in the Oval, sworn in. His family is amazing. So thank you very much. We're now on day 41 of the disgraceful Democrat shutdown of Mark Wayne's department. Congratulations. He came into a department that shut down by the radical Democrats. Right? But Democrats are really punishing the American people. I saw it today on one of the shows where they were interviewing people at the airport, and they're all angry at the Democrats. They're saying they're actually angry at Schumer. I didn't think anyone knew his name. One woman said, that Schumer is disgraceful. He's a disgrace to our country. But they're angry at the Democrats. They know what's happening. But they're punishing the American people, including travelers at airports, all in the quest to return to open borders and give amnesty to illegal alien criminals. They want to give amnesty to some of the criminals that came into our country, just about all of them, actually, if you look at it. They love sanctuary cities, which is a sanctuary for criminals. They want to make sure they're taken care of. That's what we're fighting about. That's really what they're fighting. They don't talk about that, but that's what they're fighting about. They want to protect criminals. In many cases, 11,888 murders. Many of them, I will say, are gone now because of us. We got them out. But still have some left. Should have never happened, should have never been allowed to come into our country. But we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let the Democrats get away with this stuff, and people are wise to them. So they need to end the shutdown immediately, or we'll have to take some very drastic measures. This morning, I want to give an update on the Operation Epic Fury, which is an appropriate name because we are absolutely obliterating them. Over the past 3 weeks, we've been hitting Iran's military capabilities at a level that few people have ever seen before. People never knew there was such a capability. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world by far. I built it during my first administration, and I used it during my second administration. Unfortunately, because I'd rather not have to use it. But it's a display of force and precision and skill like nothing the world has really witnessed, although you get a pretty good witnessing of it in Venezuela also. And that was a smaller version of what we're doing now. We're crushing their missiles and drone stockpiles, destroying their defense industrial base. We've wiped out their Navy completely, their Air Force completely. We've wiped out a large percentage of their missiles. And the missile launchers, without the launchers, the missiles don't do any good. And we've knocked out probably close to 90% of the launchers, probably more than 90% of the missiles themselves. Between some they fired and more than they fired, we knocked out. We've also destroyed a lot of the factories. We're continuing to do that, but a lot of the factories where they manufacture the drones and the missiles. The drones, too, are way down, but the reason they're down is they go one way and they don't come back, because for the most part, we're shooting them down. But we also are able to, we've really done tremendous damage to the places where they make them. And just so we set the record straight, because I've been watching the Wall Street Journal's fake news and all these stories that get printed like, oh, I want to make a deal. They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal. And anybody that saw what was happening over there would understand why they want to make a deal. But they say, oh, we're not talking to them. Anybody would know that. And only a total fool. And they're not fools. They're very smart, actually, in a certain way. And they're great negotiators. I say they're lousy fighters, but they're great negotiators. They are begging to work out a deal. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. They should have done it 2 years ago. Or they should have done it when we first came into office, because 2 years ago they had free reign under Biden. Sleepy Joe, worst president in the history of our country. What he allowed to happen to our country at the borders, and even with a thing like this. But not just him. Every president for 47 years, every president should have done this. They should have done it a long time ago, because you cannot give lunatics a nuclear weapon, and they would have had a big one. It stopped really when we did the B-2, but even before that, the Barack Hussein Obama, what he did where he gave them the Iran nuclear deal, gave them free will toward a nuclear weapon. Basically, he chose Iran over Israel and others that didn't want him to do it. But I terminated that deal. Had I not terminated that deal, you would have had a nuclear weapon years ago and it would have been used, guaranteed. And one of the reasons you know about the guarantee is because their neighbors were sort of like bystanders. They weren't involved very much. They didn't choose heavy sides. They didn't want to because people were concerned with Iran. There was a big black cloud over the Middle East. They were concerned, but all of a sudden the war starts and they start shooting at these five, in particular, five countries. They start shooting at Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Oman. They start shooting at them, and everybody was shocked, including us. You know why? Because they're sick, and they had a plan to take over the Middle East. And some of those missiles that we shot at them were locked long before we even started this process. They were locked and loaded and aimed at those countries. They wanted to take over the Middle East, but we happened to come along, so it wasn't so easy. So right now their Navy is sunk in the largest elimination of a foreign Navy that has taken place, maybe ever, but certainly since World War II. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and communications capabilities are totally dismantled. And one of the problems they do have when they deal with us is we deal with people and that people aren't able to communicate with anybody else. So, because all of their leadership has been gone. The first level is gone, and they met to pick a new level, and they're gone. They're all gone because they didn't make a deal and because they're sick people. They're really sick. They're really sinister, sick people. And if anybody thinks it was okay to have a group of people like this to have nuclear capability, nuclear weapons, and if we didn't attack with the B-2 bombers, they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks of that, maybe 4 weeks. But between 2 and 4 weeks, they were planning to have a nuclear weapon. If we didn't hit them at that time with the B-2 bombers, and one of the great air raids in history, maybe the greatest, dark at night, no moon, no light, every single bomb hit its mark and just obliterated that place. So it's now buried deep under earth. And it was an amazing thing, but they would have a nuclear, and they would have used it without question. And you know that because why did they shoot all these countries that weren't even really involved with them? They weren't involved. They had no big problems because they're sick, because they want to take over the Middle East, not just Israel. Certainly Israel would have been the first on their list. They would have used nuclear weapons, a nuclear, you don't need too many of them, but they would have used a nuclear weapon on Israel and they would have used it on the neighbors. And then they would have come after us. And if we had a weak president, they would have done great damage. But fortunately, you don't have a weak president. I knew what was happening. And I think we've been proven right. They took one missile, went 2,500 miles. They supposedly didn't have a missile like that. They had no missile with that capability. But they shot the now famous Ireland, the island that the UK was very afraid to give us because they didn't want to get dragged in. But we don't want to get dragged into their wars either. It's one thing we're very disappointed. I'll say it publicly. We're very disappointed with NATO because NATO has done absolutely nothing. And I've always said 25 years ago, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly, that we'll come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours. And I want you to remember that we said this. They didn't come to our rescue. Now they all want to help. When they're annihilated, the other side is annihilated. They said, we'd love to send ships. They actually made a statement, a couple of them, that we want to get involved when the war's over. No, it's supposed to get involved with the war's beginning or even before it begins. We had the UK say that we'll send, this is 3 weeks ago, we'll send our aircraft carriers, which aren't the best aircraft carriers, by the way. They're toys compared to what we have. But we'll send our aircraft carrier when the war is over. I said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Don't bother. We don't need it. And we don't need it. And we don't need them. We estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission, and we're way ahead of schedule. If you look at what we've done in terms of the destruction of that country, I mean, we're way ahead. Think of it. They have no Navy, and they had good ships. 154 ships have been shot down and are resting very nicely at the bottom of the sea. And we did that in a matter of less than a week. Because we have the greatest military in the world by far, nobody even close. So we estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission. 26 days in, we're really a lot ahead of schedule. The Iranian regime is now admitting to itself that they have been decisively defeated. They're saying to people, this is a disaster. They know it. That's why they're talking to us. And they wouldn't talk otherwise. But they're talking to us because they've got a disaster on their hands. They're defeated. They can't make a comeback. We're free to roam over their cities and towns and destroy all of their crazy nuclear weapons and missiles and drones that they're building. And we're doing that. They now have a chance to make a deal, but that's up to them. And they'll tell you, we're not negotiating. We will not negotiate. Of course they're negotiating. They've been obliterated. Who wouldn't negotiate? They are begging to make a deal. We'll see if we can make the right deal. If they make the right deal, then the strait will open up. Hormuz Strait will open up. And even now, we don't know if there are any mines. You know, they have 22 they call mine droppers. Think of it. Who would have 22 mine droppers? There's a boat that drops mines. Who has 22 mine droppers? Except for people with very evil intention. So every one of those mine droppers has been struck with the same weapon we used to stop drugs from coming into the United States of America. When we hit those boats, it's the exact same weapon, extremely effective. We have unlimited supplies and extremely effective. But they have no more mine droppers. By the way, speaking of drugs, we're 98% down drugs coming in by water, by the ocean, by the sea. 98%. And we're trying to find out who are the 2% because we think they're the bravest men anywhere in the world. Maybe women. But whoever's on those boats is very brave or doesn't watch television. But where drugs coming in by sea, coming in by water, are 98% down. And now we'll stop the drugs coming in by land. The land is the easy one. You had to stop the water. A lot of it came in through the water. Now it's all pinched. And these people are trying to come in by land. And we will, that's it. That's the easy one. But we had to take care of the water first. Nobody's coming in. Virtually nothing is coming in anymore. It was hundreds of millions of dollars a week were coming in by water. But they now have the chance, that is Iran, to permanently abandon their nuclear ambitions and to chart a new path forward. We'll see if they want to do it. If they don't, we're their worst nightmare. In the meantime, we'll just keep blowing them away, unimpeded, unstopped. Well, there's not a thing they can do about it. They can't do anything about it, you know. I tell you, if they could, you'd be hearing about it. You'd be hearing about it. You don't hear anything about it. They can't shoot our jets. We have the best military equipment in the world. No, not even a contest. You see that with Venezuela. They had other equipment. They didn't have ours. It didn't work. Think of it. We did the situation in Venezuela. It was a great military operation, getting a very, very dangerous man who's killed a lot of people, forced people into our country. Incredible. He emptied his prisons in Venezuela, emptied his prisons into our country. And I hope that charge will be brought at some point, because that was a big charge that hasn't been brought yet. It should be brought. He emptied his prisons into our country and was a major purveyor of drugs coming into our country. And he's now been captured and, I guess be given a fair trial. But I would imagine there are other trials coming, because they've really sued him just on a fraction of the kind of things that he's done. Other cases are going to be brought, as you probably know. In the meantime, with Iran. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing, and nobody's a match for the United States, but they're not a match for the United States. It's small potatoes. That's why I'm so disappointed in NATO, because this was a test for NATO. This was a test. You can help us. You don't have to, but if you don't have, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression: never forget. You can never forget. So as we end threats to America abroad, we're focused here at home on building the greatest economy in the history of the world. Now, before this started, the Dow hit 50,000. The S&P hit 7,000. Both of those achievements were not achievable. Every one of you, most of you, I guess, said you'll never hit 50,000 during a 4-year period because it was too high a number. Well, we hit it in our first year. And I said, well, now we have to take an excursion to Iran, and we have to stop this maniac who's no longer with us. The supreme leader wasn't so supreme, no longer with us. It's very sad. But we have to stop him from blowing up the world, blowing up the Middle East, and blowing up our country. And we did that. And frankly, I thought the oil prices would go up more, and I thought the stock market would go down more. It hasn't been nearly as severe as I thought. I think they have confidence in maybe the American president and maybe the people sitting around this table. But Americans filing their taxes this year are receiving record-setting refunds. It's been a very big story. Well, it should be a big story. I don't think you read about it that much, but I speak about it. I speak about it because if I speak about it, at least people hear. You don't write about it. You don't write about the drug prices going down. It'll be going down 30, 40, 50, 60%, 70%. Favored nations. Called most favored nations. We're going to be paying the lowest price anywhere in the world. Before we paid the highest price in the world, Bobby, right? And now we're going to pay the lowest price in the world. That's quite a difference. It's a difference of from 40 to 70 and 80 and even 90%. That's a pretty big difference. But we're slashing regulations, and investment is pouring in from all over the world. We have the most investment of any country in history has been put into our country in the last year. And again, we had to take a little detour. Won't be long. Going to end soon. We had to take a little detour, go to Iran, and we had to put out a fire. Very dangerous fire that could have blown up big portions of the world, if not the whole thing. So tomorrow we'll be announcing a variety of actions that we're taking to support American farmers, who we never forget. We love the farmers. We gave them $12 billion out of tariff money. We had a tremendous amount of tariff money come in, and we continue to have. We've gone, as you know, the Supreme Court gave us a very unfortunate, foolish ruling, a ruling that gives the people that have ripped off our country for many years, gives them some money back. It's one of those things. It's a terrible, terrible, horrible mistake they made, but it's okay because we have another method that's just as good. We'll use the other method. But because the tariff money has been so substantial, we gave our farmers, who have been mistreated by some countries, we gave them $12 billion. And they're extremely happy, and they deserve it. They've been great. They never complain. They just go out and they farm, and they wouldn't do anything different. They wouldn't trade jobs with any of you, except maybe some of the fake media. I don't know. Somehow I don't see that. I like their job better, actually. I love the farmers. So we gave them $12 billion. So in just a few moments, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will discuss the actions that we're taking to address energy prices, which have not gone up as much as I thought, Scott, to be honest with you. And, it's not over, so maybe it'll go up a little bit more. It's all going to come back down to where it was, and probably lower. And my predictions have been right. Trump was right about everything. They have a new hat. Trump was right about everything. It's pretty right. But Scott's going to address that. And I think before we go very much further, I want to ask Vice President J.D. Vance to say a few words about where we are with the situation. He's involved with Steve and with Jared on negotiations. And then Some of the others will speak. We'll have Marco say a few words. Pete Hegseth, who was born for this role. I mean, he's doing a great job. They gave him a hard time. And now people, I'll tell you, somebody came up to me yesterday, gave you a very hard time, said, you know, I made a mistake. Pete Hegseth is doing a good job. So when I tell you who, you're not even going to believe it. He said Hegseth. He gave you such a nasty hard time. But you're doing great. And then Steve is going to speak, and Scott will speak last. And if we have any questions, we'll take some questions. You may have questions. I doubt it, but you may have some. So, JD, please.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. It's good to see everybody. Proud to be part of this team. Proud to be serving the president of the country. Let me just say a couple of things. So first of all, is the president summarized this very ably. But look, the Iranian conventional military is effectively destroyed. They don't have a navy. They don't have the ability to hit us like they could have even a few weeks ago. And what that does is that gives us options, Mr. President. Now, there's been a lot of reporting about diplomatic options, about negotiations. There's, of course, Pete and his team. There are further military options. But what we have now that we didn't have when the president took over just a little over a year ago is the ability to use every tool at our disposal to ensure that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. Because when I say options, I think it's important the American people know options for what? And it's options to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. You talk about people who walk into a crowded supermarket and have a vest on, and they blow up the vest and a couple of people get killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. What happens when what's on the vest is not something that can kill a couple of people, but can kill many, many tens of thousands of people? That is the most important American national security objective that exists for any administration at any time, is you don't want the worst people in the world to have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president is doing this. That's why the president cares so much about this particular issue. I'll let Steve talk a little bit about the details of the negotiation. But the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to Marco is I'm very mindful, of course, that we have a lot of folks overseas fighting very ably for the United States of America. I know Pete and the whole team, we're very proud of them, but they're fighting at a time where we're about to enter as Christians the most important week of the Christian calendar, the Holy Week that celebrates the return of Jesus Christ to Jerusalem. And so I want to say to all of my fellow American Christians, but particularly those serving in the Gulf, that I wish you all a very blessed Easter, a very blessed Holy Week, and we continue to stand behind you and continue to support you every step of the way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Marco?
The most important job any president has is to keep the American people safe. And every president says it, but we have a president that means it and does something about it. As the president outlined very clearly to the world on the night this operation began, Iran has been at war with the United States for 47 years. For 47 years, Iran has been killing Americans and attacking Americans across this planet. And other presidents had an opportunity to do something about it. And they all warned about how Iran was dangerous, but they refused to act. And this president's not someone that's going to refuse to act. He's not going to leave a danger like this in place. He's going to address it, and that is what he is doing. From the very first night of this operation, the president made it very clear. People like this, and now what I'm talking about is not the people of Iran. The people that run this country are radical Shia clerics. These are religious fanatics. Look what they are doing now at their weakest point. This is the weakest Iran has ever been. And look at what they're doing. They're attacking embassies. They're attacking hotels. Imagine what these people would do if they had a nuclear weapon. That is an unacceptable risk for the world. By the way, the president's not just doing a favor to the United States and to our people. This is for the world. He defined very clearly on the first night of this operation what the goal was. We were going to destroy Iran's Navy, and that is happening. We were going to, if it hasn't already happened, I'll let Pete speak to the specifics of it. We were going to destroy their missile launching capabilities. We're well on our way to achieving that goal. We were going to destroy the factories so they couldn't make more missiles and more drones, and that is moving forward. Every single objective the president clearly laid out on the first night of this operation is being effectuated. Again, Pete will speak to the specifics of it. This has been an incredibly successful operation. Every day, it may not get covered because, we're unlike them. We're not bombing embassies and hotels. We're hitting military targets. But every day, the Department of War lets the drummer get wicked over every portion of Iran that has these military capabilities, and the results are going to bear fruit for the world. The world is going to be a safer and a better place when President Trump's mission here is achieved. And frankly, I think countries around the world, even those that are out there complaining about this a little bit, should actually be grateful that the United States has a president that's willing to confront a threat like this and not allow it to continue to persist. Because these people will kill as many Americans as they have a chance to do. And if they have a nuclear weapon, as the vice president pointed out, they could kill millions of Americans in the future. And that is a risk that was not going to continue to exist as long as we had this president.
Thank you, Marco. You know, it's very interesting.
Iran is launching missiles toward Israel right now.
Watching, is it Anthony Blinken? And he was saying that they should have done it. But they didn't do it. Nobody did it. Nobody did it. For 47 years, Marco, that's the number, 47. I guess now it's 48 because we've been saying 47 for a long time. It's probably 48. But for 47, 48 years, every president should have done this. And some are saying now that they made a big mistake in not doing it, but we're taking care of business. Steve Witkoff, please.
Mr. President, it is my distinct honor to be a member of your cabinet and to report to you and your team on our negotiations with Iran. Mr. President, you directed Jared and I to pursue a diplomatic resolution with Iran prior to Operation Epic Fury, which we did. However, it became quite clear during these meetings with the Iranian negotiating team that we could not make a deal that fulfilled your objectives of the following: no enrichment whatsoever, no chance of weaponizing whatsoever, decommissioning of Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, which you destroyed in Operation Midnight Hammer, no stockpiling of any material, which they flagrantly violated, turning all enriched material over to us, and a cutback in Iran's missile inventory and range capability of those same missiles. Throughout our meetings with the Iranians, we heard the following from them. The Iranians have the inalienable right to enrich. Then we heard they possessed enough 60% enriched material, 460 kilograms, to make 11 atomic bombs. Finally, we heard the following statement. They would not give up diplomatically what we could not win militarily. In other words, they were again miscalculating the success of Midnight Hammer, which was a total success. These are incontrovertible signs, among many other signs, sir, that their regime had not given their negotiating team authority to make a deal required by you. We conferred with you and all the other members of your foreign policy team, Susie Wiles, Pete Hegseth, the chairman, Marco Rubio, JD, Scott Bessent, Chris Wright, John Radcliffe, throughout all of these negotiations, and we were repeatedly rebuffed on everything we asked for. I have no doubt that we exhausted all efforts on behalf of a peaceful resolution, as you directed. Jared and I both agreed that the Iranians were there to buy time until a weaker president arrived. This was a flawed strategy, as your clear direction was to never allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon today or any time in the future. Against that backdrop and our compelling military successes in Epic Fury, we have had multiple reach outs from the region and others who want to play a role in ending this conflict peacefully. I can report to you today that we have, along with your foreign policy team, presented a 15-point action list that forms the framework for a peace deal. This has been circulated through the Pakistani government, acting as the mediator. And this has resulted in strong and positive messaging in talks, as you just indicated to the press. But these are sensitive diplomatic discussions, and you have directed us to maintain confidentiality on the specific terms and not negotiate through the news media as others do. I can say this: we will see where things lead, and if we can convince Iran that this is the inflection point with no good alternatives for them, other than more death and destruction. We have strong signs that this is a possibility, and if a deal happens, It will be great for the country of Iran, for the entire region, and the world at large. Your policy of peace through strength is the most effective tool for a diplomatic resolution here, just as this policy was an effective tool in each and every one of all of the other conflicts you settled in your first year. Iran is looking for an off-ramp following your powerful threat on Saturday. Your indications that you are willing to listen to peace proposals have been well received. You have instructed us that your preference is always peace and that we should make that our priority. We have delivered that message, sir, along with the 15 points for peace. Finally, we have told Iran one last thing. Don't miscalculate again.
Good. Thank you very much. Good job. You're doing a great job. Everybody around this table is doing a great job. Pete Hegseth, please.
Mr. President. I'll start kind of where you left off, Mr. President. Thank you for doing the work of the free world and having the courage to step up and stop the Iranian terror regime from holding the world hostage. That's really what it is. And 27 days ago, Iran had a modern military.
Alert
Never
in Tel
recorded
Aviv.
history has a nation's military been so quickly and effectively neutralized. Operation Epic Fury is not an endless war. It's a decisive campaign with clear objectives to destroy Iran's offensive military capabilities and ensure they never obtain a nuclear weapon. This is stuff for the history books. This is stuff for legacy. Mr. President, you are acting now to ensure future generations do not have to live under the threat of a nuclear-armed Iran. However, you wouldn't know it if you listened to the dishonest hate Trump media, as you referenced. The folks here in the room, these cameras, they have a choice. You're either informing the American people of the truth or you're not. Because I hear it from my people every day. Behind every headline you write, there's a helicopter crew in the air. And behind every news banner you write, there's a battalion on the move. And behind every fake news story, there's an F-35 pilot executing a dangerous mission. My message to the media is get it right. This actually isn't something new to me. I may be a young guy, Mr. President, but I'm not a rookie in this realm. In 2007, I helped lead the surge, the public fight for the Iraq surge. Stood and watched people stand in the Senate and declare the war is lost before it even started. Who was that? It was Harry Reid. That was the Democrats and the media working hand in glove. Back then, it was 3 years into a war. Now we're 3 weeks into an operation. But see, unlike Iraq, this isn't a tie. This is not parity. This is not chaos. This is success, pure American success, on plan, and as the president said, ahead of pace. Over 10,000 enemy targets destroyed, over 140, I think now you're right, Mr. President, over 150 naval vessels sunk, underground facilities destroyed, their defense industrial base in shambles, and overnight, not only do they not have a Navy, Mr. President, they no longer have a Navy commander. IRGC's Navy commander was killed overnight in operation. So no Navy leader. Now that here's the thing about the media though, if President Trump had not acted, you'd be screaming, why not? And now that he has taken decisive action, you're asking, well, why did you? It's the same old tired playbook, TDS in your DNA. But the hardworking, God-fearing, patriotic Americans out there know better. And you alluded to this, President Obama, Mr. President. Here's a fact that you don't hear on your networks, but we know. Many of the Iranian military factories and bases that we're systematically destroying were paid for by the pallets of American cash that Barack Obama flew into Tehran under the Iran deal. You might call it an inconvenient truth. Iran took our money and turned it into weapons and bunkers and ammo. And now we're destroying those weapons and you're writing, Mr. President, that grievous wrong. And make no mistake, we had to act. And our objectives are clear. No nukes, no Navy, and a complete dismantling of their missile program and defense industrial base. And as Marco pointed out, that mission, and the VP as well, has not changed since day one. Yet, 2 days ago, they shot 2 failed missiles on a target 4,000 kilometers away. For years, they told the world that their missiles could only range 2 kilometers. Surprise. Yet again, Iran lied. And to the world, I say London is 4,000 kilometers from Iran. Washington, D.C. is 3,300 kilometers from Venezuela, another country President Trump did something about that partnered for a long time with Iran. So you're telling us that Iran is not a threat to the world or to the U.S. President Trump knows better. And here's what success actually looks like right now. You mentioned it, Mr. President. A-10 Warthogs, if you know them, you love them, and Apache helicopter gunships are flying strike missions inside Iranian airspace and throughout the Strait of Hormuz at will. See, you only send these slow, low-flying, close air support platforms when the enemy has no meaningful air defenses left. Their presence is proof that Iran's air defenses are gone. Their command and control is shattered, their top leaders hiding in underground bunkers, while their mid-level commanders are being crushed in the field. The morale of their fighters plummeting. We see that disconnect daily. They're privately admitting, as you said, Mr. President, very heavy losses. We know that. President Trump has given us a clear mission. Our capabilities are only going up and Iran's are plummeting. We are here to win, and we're full speed ahead. So, Steve, we appreciate your efforts. We pray for a deal, and we welcome a deal, and we have the ultimate deal maker to make it happen. But in the meantime, as I said yesterday, the Department of War will continue negotiating with bombs. War is negotiation by other means. And finally, I want to thank our incredible troops, our pilots, crews, sailors, refuelers, air defenders, the absolute best of America, the real 1% of our country. This president, President Trump, has your back. And I know this cabinet prays for you every single day. And we ask the American people to do the same as they continue in this mission. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great. I think before I ask Scott to say a couple of words, it would be great if people like the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois would say, please come in and stop the crime. A beautiful young lady was killed the other day, and the father was a very good friend of Dan Scavino, and he took it very hard. Dan took it very hard. He liked the father, friends. They grew up together. And it's a young lady whose life would be saved if we did what we did as an example in Washington, D.C., which is now a safe city. All the time, people come up to me in the building, people that work here, they say, thank you so much. I know immediately what they're talking about. They're able to walk to work. They walk to work. You all walk to work. Some of you were mugged. I know you told me stories. Some of you were mugged. One person in particular was viciously mugged in the group right here. It's not happening anymore. You have a safe city. Louisiana, the governor of Louisiana called me, can you help me with New Orleans? They just had the Mardi Gras. He said it was the safest Mardi Gras we've ever had. Sounds terrible to say. No murders. You know, it sounds like, who would say this? No murders. But they always had murders. They had a lot of crime during Mardi Gras. He said virtually no crime. We had the troops down there. Memphis, Tennessee, I just got back. We were there.
All right. So we got the gist of their statements, cabinet member statements, the president. They made the rounds on Iran. I'm waiting to see when the press starts to ask questions. That should be really interesting. But if it was as decimated as we're led to believe, and I do believe that we've taken out a lot of their missile capability, whether it's storage, development, launchers, drones as well, naval assets. But if it was completely destroyed, then how is the strait still closed? What is the threat to the strait? What about all these missiles flying in daily, nightly in Israel and other places? There's still work to be done here. And I read yesterday that, or was it the day before, they actually turned back in the strait a tanker that was trying to leave the UAE. So obviously they still have something going on to intimidate in the Strait of Hormuz. If it was that fucking easy, then why isn't the Strait open? Threats from where? If they don't have a navy, that means the threats are coming from what? Mines? Drones? Missiles? What? It doesn't make sense. The exaggeration makes sense, but the reality doesn't make sense. Because the threat obviously exists. And when you start saying, oh, we can fly at will over areas in the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz with warthogs and helos, well, you better be sure, because it's happened in other locations already in Iraq, that you won't get those shot down. Be careful. Be cautious. That sounds like a very arrogant stance. Very arrogant. So I'm a little cautious when they start saying things like this. It makes me shake my head or like look sideways because I'm like, what? I mean, okay, they're calling off some of the things that were going on. A lot of them are probably being intercepted before they even get close to Israel. And you got probably near Jordan and elsewhere. But to say that the 14 or 15 point peace plan, who is Iran? When he says Iran is begging for a deal, who in Iran is begging for a deal? I'd like to know. Give us some substance. Who are you talking to in Iran that is begging for this deal? Is the IRGC begging for this deal? Who is it? The president? The foreign minister? Like, who is they? Who is Iran? I'd like to know, who is they? That they're begging to make a deal. Based on all the stuff I'm seeing from different statements from commanders, clerics, even Ghalibaf himself now. Even the foreign minister said it in an interview where there is no deal. So what's going on here? Are they saying that publicly or in privately they're doing something else? I mean, again, it's like I'm confused. Confused based on these statements. I mean, I get it. They've been hit by thousands of sorties and whatever I mean, I get it. But to say they're completely defeated, the Navy's completely gone, if that's the case, then why does the number go up when you say this? It goes from 130 to 140 something, now it's in the 150s, but the Navy was gone before. But now you're saying it's gone again. So we're going to hear in a few days, now we've taken out 170 naval vessels in Iran, but I thought you said they were completely obliterated. And what about in the Caspian Sea, the supply coming from Russia? Has the Iranian capability up there been completely destroyed? And you know that there's reports, and you can read this up. That's not the only way that you can deploy mines is through vessels. They have underwater drones that can lay them in place. I mean, my gosh. If we have them so defeated, then why isn't the Strait open right now? If they're flying low helicopters, Apaches, and Warthogs, still hitting targets, yes, now it's confirmed for real, because he said the IRGC Navy commander was taken out. So that's confirmed. We were talking about that earlier this morning. So it's confirmed because Pete Hegseth just said it. He confirmed it. So we're still taking out naval assets, commanders, headquarters, the stuff like this. So how is their threat to keep the Strait closed enforced? By words? Magic? Something is keeping that Strait closed. Right? Oh, I know not to take them literally, but when when this is being seen publicly, you may not take it literal. I don't take it literal, but a lot of people that watch this take it literal. You got to remember the audience that's being targeted with this. It's the American people, like me and others. We see this. Now, we've been dealing with this. A lot of us here have a little bit more of an understanding about the specifics and the details because we've been involved with this since the beginning and before. I don't take anything he says literal because it's all part of a ploy. They know they're watching him speak right now. They are watching him. They're observing it. You know they are. Everybody is. It's a public stance. It's to project. But there are people out there that will take everything literal. Word for word. What? Tusi was on 25 minutes ago? But when I hear their Navy is completely destroyed and it's down to 90%, maybe even higher, their missile and launchers, that's possible. I could, about the way they've been targeted and hit, like 24/7, but they still have a capability. And like I said, if it was so easily said than done, it almost sounded he said there at one point, if a deal is made, then that opens the strait. Oh, so the only way that opens the strait is if Iran agrees to the deal? Why? Why? He said that. He said, if they make the deal, the strait gets open. I'm paraphrasing, but he did say that. Why do we have to wait for a deal to be made for the strait to be open if it's not such a big deal anymore? That's not making sense to me. Did you hear him say that? He did say that earlier. Rewind. He did say that. So what? We need a deal to be made for the strait to be open again? But I thought they're getting pummeled. I thought that they're flying warthogs and helos, Apaches, right there in the Persian Gulf along the Strait of Hormuz. So what's the problem? You mentioned you took out what do you say, 40-something mining vessels? They've been hit, struck. He didn't say anything more than that. So there's no mines that I'm aware of? What? There was a report yesterday there was 12 mines that were confirmed. But I don't know if that report is true. So what's the problem then? How is Iran being able to hold a strait hostage if all these things are eliminated? Because there's still a threat. If they can fire drones and missiles at the UAE, Kuwait got hit yesterday? Wait a minute. So if they had the capabilities to hit Kuwait and target Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia got targeted, that means they have a capability. That means they have a capability to hit the vessels and shit in the Persian Gulf and Strait too with drones. Oh, so there's no threat? The threat still exists. You don't understand war, obviously. Just the threat of his can stop traffic. Whose threat? Chris, whose threat? Iran's threat? I don't get what you're saying there. There is not just a threat, it's legitimate. It's not just a threat, it's legitimate. If his talk was so easy by what he says, then we'd be seeing negotiations and everything. Are they waiting on NATO? Oh, God. I don't think so. Oh, my God. I don't think they're waiting on NATO, UK, France, or anyone. I don't know. It's a good question. It sounds to me that he's frustrated. He doesn't think they're going to offer anything. Oh, yeah. Oh, now I get what you're saying. Now I understand. Just the threat of hitting definitely stops it, of course. That's common sense, yes. Obviously. But how is a threat legitimized if there is no threat by other statements made like this? That's my point. You could threaten all you want, but unless you can back up those threats. So obviously they can back up the threats. That's the whole point. If it was empty words, then you wouldn't even care. So obviously just threatening it, intimidating, means they have something to back it up with, right? They're able to carry out with their threats. Or their navy's completely sunk. It has nothing to do with not understanding war, because I take that as almost as a criticism that is a little offensive to me. But I get it. I get what you're saying now. So, anyway, this is not over by any means. And this fantasy of a deal, a 15-point deal, that's a fantasy. The IRGC is never going to go there. I want to know who in Iran is begging for a deal. Who? Most of those parliament members are worse radicals than anybody else. The clerics and the mullahs in the parliament, they're still there. They're not going to agree. They're not begging. They make daily statements, even during prayer. Exactly. It definitely takes more than a few weeks to get rid of the threat. That's what I'm saying. There's still a lot to be done here. And this isn't even counting what the Iranian people. What about, where's the talk about the Iranian people? Giving them the opportunity to try to take their country back. It makes my head spin, to be honest. Yeah, especially the underground missile cities that are under granite mountains. Those are the ones they're having difficulty with. I don't want to say I'm hypothetically going to speculate, but I wouldn't be surprised they do some special force ops in certain locations that are deemed difficult. But that's high risk. That's such high risk. I mean, that's, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know about this Karg Island thing either. But you do cut off 90% of their oil flow and the money that they're generating from that. Goldie yesterday said, and I don't know if this is true, that they're making $300 million a day from oil sales. I don't know if that's true. And it's coming from Karg. Because remember, there is still tankers that they're allowing to go through. There have been a few. If there is still a lot to be done, then why are you asking why Strait is still closed? What? Oh no. If there's still a lot of work to do, why are you asking why Strait is still closed? Why don't you ask the president that question? Don't ask me that question. Ask him. He's making it sound like it's done. They're devastated. There's no navy. There's no. That's what I'm saying. It's not over. He's making it sound like it's over. It's close to being over. We're ahead of schedule, 4 to 6 weeks ahead. We're ahead. So it's been almost 4 weeks now. So if we're ahead, then the Strait should be open soon? I don't think so. He makes it sound like their navy's destroyed. This is this. There's still a lot to be done. There's a lot of alerts coming in again to the north. And exactly, Iran is a huge country. And they started to hit more targets in Mashhad toward the east, in eastern Iran now. I can only imagine what they're hiding in the east, thinking that it's longer range for us to travel to get to them. But you would think everything's all rosy and dandy listening to this. Okay, what's going on? There's more alerts. To the north? Where were they? Yep, northeast. Right now, confrontation line, those alerts. Is Tusi going live anytime soon? Somebody let me know if he is. Somebody said he was on 25 minutes ago. So there's a bunch of, that's coming from Lebanon. All right, let's see what's going on here. I'm waiting. Actually, I'm not even going to listen to any more of this. Let's see what anything is coming out on Telegram.
Hostile aircraft intrusion. Odem.
Look what the Israeli reported, just like what I was talking about. I was just talking about it. Look what he said. Is the war winding down? If you listen to the words out of Washington, you might think it's a possibility. However, if you looked at the skies outside of my house, you'd question that conclusion. In Israel. And I was just saying, Israel's been constantly getting threatened, pounded, missiles. I mean, the reality is totally different here. Taking out 140 vessels in an area the size of Texas is literally no insignificant. But then again, no, Gitmo, you got to think about it. In the area of the Persian Gulf and the Strait, it's not about the whole size of the country. It's where are these vessels located, and in the Caspian Sea to the north. So, but they had a lot of fast-moving boats too that were threatening vessels. Remember, they would. You see it all the time. Remember Somalia when they had the pirates going onto tankers and seizing them? Remember that? You got to remove the entire threat. I don't know how many of them they had. Alexa, how many fast-moving boats does Iran have?
Iran's missile arsenal is diverse, including short and medium
I didn't
range
ask about
ballistic
missiles.
missiles. Despite recent conflicts,
Alexa, stop.
Iran...
Somebody should look that up. Alexa, how many fast-moving vessels does Iran have?
Iran operates over 145 military combat vessels, including many fast attack craft. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps specializes in swarming tactics using hundreds of small, fast boats for asymmetric
Wait a minute, time out, stop.
Are you looking into Iran's overall military strategy and capabilities?
Tell me about those hundreds of small moving vessels.
Iran's IRGC Navy operates between 3,000 and 5,000 small fast boats. These boats are designed for swarming tactics, using speed and numbers to overwhelm...
Alexa, stop. Did you hear that? 3,000 to 5,000 fast-moving boats. And their tactic is to swarm. We may have taken out their technical military vessels, but they've got a ton of these fast-moving boats. 3,000 to 5,000 of them. You see, when things are taken out of context and you don't see the whole picture of the threat, that is a big part of the threat. So when we hear 145, 152 vessels have been sunk, their navy's gone. Well, as far as the larger military vessels are concerned, submarines, frigates, the floating drone carrier, yeah. But what about all these fast-moving boats that are armed with missiles? 3,000 to 5,000 of them. Those don't count? You know what I'm saying? That's a good question. You think all of them were destroyed? They just turned back the UAE oil tanker that was trying to go into the strait. Was it one of those boats? Are we not hitting those boats? He mentioned about the speedboat type getting taken out now. Similar to Venezuela. He did say that. But they got a ton of them. They've got a ton of them. But it seems like we're talking about what? You're going to take one out every day? How many are being taken out of these fast movers? Are you hitting where they're stored, their ports? I'm sure they are. I would love someone in the press to ask that question. What about their speedboat swarm capability? That's a great question. I would love to hear Hexa, somebody take that question. That is a legitimate question. So,
Homefront Command update. Incident ended.
It's like 800 off the coast. They haven't used them because the U.S. Navy is... It has nothing to do about the U.S. Navy. They're using them to intimidate the traffic in the strait. It's not about the U.S. Navy. This is how they intimidate the vessels in the strait. That's the threat. Has nothing to do with the U.S. Navy. They're not going to do the fast boats traveling toward the naval vessels. This is how they threaten the strait itself. Have you not seen videos of what they do? I should look it up. This is what they do. So that is a big part of it. But as far as we hear, I'm not hearing much of that. Okay. Let's take a look at, I don't know if I'll be able to show the video though. Let me fast forward because I'm going to get in trouble if I show this. Yeah, I can't show this. It's got video, but I'll get copyright hit. I'm trying to find one that I could use. Let me see this one. This has a bookmark.
कैसे करती है। सुइसाइड बोट्स के सबसे आगे इम्पैक्ट फ्यूज लगा होता है। उसके ठीक पीछे 100 से 200 किलो तक का एक्सप्लोसिव पेलोड रखा जाता है। इसके बाद पीछे की तरफ एक हाई स्पीड मरीन इंजन लगाया जाता है जो एक शाफ्ट के जरिए
I didn't know they even had these. Iran suicide boats destroy ships in seconds. What is this?
से खींचकर तेजी से पीछे की तरफ फेंकता है और बोट लगभग 70 से 80 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की रफ्तार से आगे बढ़ने लगती है। और जैसे ही ये बोट अपने टारगेट जैसे किसी ऑयल टैंकर या शिप से टकराती है, इम्पैक्ट फ्यूज तुरंत एक्टिवेट हो जाता है और एक्सप्लोसिव पेलोड डेटोनेट हो जाता है जो बड़े से बड़े जहाज
I don't know if this is
को
accurate
पहुंचा
though.
सकता है।
Holy shit, I'd never seen that before though. I'm looking for the fast speeder boats though. See, a lot of them are just harassing the U.S. Navy. That's not the threat. Well, it is a threat, but I should have put another word. Two words.
Speedboats have become a defining feature of the Islamic Republic of Iran's maritime power in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz region.
Holy shit, look at the swarms.
With their exceptional speed and collective attack tactics, pose a significant challenge to the U.S. Navy fleet operating in the area. In the realm of naval warfare,
let's talk about the strait and the oil tankers.
The use of high-speed boats to enhance its operational capacity in asymmetric warfare. Western experts and American commanders recognize the potency of Iran's high-speed boats. They view these vessels, especially when employed in massive and rapid attacks, as the Achilles heel of the American military. Despite efforts to design and introduce new systems, the U.S. Navy continues to face a formidable tactical challenge.
But this has nothing. It definitely is a threat to the Navy, but it's a definite threat to the vessels in the Persian Gulf and Strait.
Development of high-speed vessels. Over the past 2 years, the Islamic Republic, particularly the IRGC, has achieved impressive advancements in both the quantity and quality of its high-speed boats. This continued investment underscores the critical role these vessels play.
You got to see the
maritime
images,
strategy.
how many they have. It is sick.
in Iran's maritime strategy. The concept of using fast boats armed with light and semi-heavy weapons originated from the needs of war and the ingenuity of local forces. Although lacking advanced equipment and weaponry initially, the effective performance of these speedboats spurred their preservation and subsequent development. Today, a diverse range of high-speed vessels, equipped with various weapons, vigilantly patrols the waters of the Persian Gulf. In the 1980s, no military strategist could have foreseen that Iran's high-speed boats would become game-changers in the Persian Gulf. These fast vessels compelled the United States to adapt its strategies and incur heavy military expenses in the region. Iran's domestically speedboat, characterized by their weight, speed, and diverse weaponry, have proven to be a formidable force. Since 2019, Iran's IRGC Navy has received a significant number of high-speed boats armed with cruise missiles and torpedoes. These vessels, such as the Ashura and Tariq class, exhibit remarkable agility, maneuverability, and accuracy. Their ability to engage targets from distances of 10 to 180 kilometers grants Iran an expanded combat range and increased effectiveness against enemy forces. The IRGC Navy's arsenal also includes torpedo boats, such as the Zulfikar, capable of operating both underwater and on the water's surface. Armed with formidable torpedoes, these boats pose a nightmare for enemy surface and subsurface vessels. Their speed and maneuverability enable them to target aircraft carriers, surface vessels.
Forget about the Navy threat. Think about the threat to civilian.
The IRGC Navy has introduced fast boats equipped with defense systems. These vessels provide air cover and protection to the Iranian fleet. The Kawsar 200 Nawab defense systems, installed on light-class boats like the Ashura and Zulfikar, enhance their defensive capabilities. These systems effectively engage hostile aircraft, cruise missiles, drones, and ballistic munitions. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to the channel.
They emphasize the threat to our Navy. Imagine the threat to tankers and other vessels in the Persian Gulf and the Strait. That is the threat. It's not just words. They have a legitimate threat. We hear about 150 now taken out. Their Navy is gone, 100% gone. What about these fast boats? They have thousands, Kenny. Thousands. Now, unless we're hitting, where they're, I don't know where they're located, but I'm sure we'll probably be trying to target them in the ports, wherever they're located, on dry dock, or who knows. I'm sure they're trying to target them. But it ain't just about the 150. Their Navy is 100% completely destroyed. That's not true, because they still have this fast boat threat. Unless we hear evidence that's why I said somebody in the press should ask the question, and what about their fast-moving boats? Have you eliminated that threat? I'd like to hear the answer to that question. Personally. Have you eliminated that threat? You talked about the 150 vessels, but reports indicate that they have thousands of these fast-moving boats. Have they been addressed? That's the question I want to know. The press, I don't know if they'd ask a question like that, but that's the kind of question I want to know. Personally. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of certain things. There's a lot of shit coming in from Israel. Now, why is this big helicopter flying? They're coming for me. They're coming. That's coming from the National Guard base. Oh shit, he's low. He's right here. Wow, he's super low. I mean, like a couple of 100 feet tops. He was low. Holy. I don't know if you guys heard that, but well, their own fast boats probably aren't immune from sea mines also. That's true. But where do you think those mines are mostly located? Near the Strait? Throughout the Persian? We can all speculate all day long, obviously. I don't know. All I'm saying is I would like to know if that threat has been eliminated or does it still exist? And what's your plan to take it out? That's what I want to know. Because if I heard that their Navy is completely decimated, 100% of their Navy's gone, that would make it sound to me like somebody who's watching that on TV say, holy shit, they don't have a Navy left. As far as I know, there's no mines. Oh shit, there's no mines. So why is the strait closed? Oh, they're threatening it. And the insurance companies don't want to cover the risk of the tankers going through the strait. Well, how are they threatening it? With what? Mines? Naval vessels? Missiles? Drones? You know what I mean? There's got to be a legitimate threat, from some source. Heavy military traffic for days. I live near a National Guard base. The transports were busy for a moment, not so much no more. I did hear a couple of days ago some jets flying over. That's rare here. That's not often. We get helicopters like that. Because not far from me is West Point. There's definitely movement that goes on around. Like I said, when Maduro was captured, he was brought to this base. This National Guard. Stewart. This is what they brought him. Right here. I live near the Stewart National Guard base. That's where they brought him. It's to my south. It's, it's not close, but it's the nearest one nearby. Now, I didn't see all that because I live too far north. And when he landed there, they took him south to New York City. So I never got to see any of it flying over because I'm to the north. Far to the north. So, but that doesn't mean I don't see from time to time activity going on, going there or coming from there. So, my question to all of you in chat, and they do have the kamikaze boats. I was just looking that up. I didn't even know they had those drone kamikaze boats. I did not know that until just now, until I looked at that video. The one video. I didn't know they had kamikaze boats too. It makes sense. I didn't know that. I learned something today.
Alarm. Ashdod Gimel Vav Zayin. Ashdod Chet Tet Yud Yud Gimel Yud Daled Tet Zayin. Ashdod 11, 12, 15, 17, Marine City. Ad Halom Industrial Zone. Bnei Re'em. Rivadim. Kfar Harif and Re'em Junction. Talmei Yechiel. Gan Yavne. Hatzav. Hatzor. Givon Achadasha. Retorno Givat.
This isn't far from Tel Aviv.
Givat Ze'ev. Kfar Uriah. Mesilat Zion. Ta'oz.
Shit. I gotta get rid of that.
Industrial Park.
I get confused.
Givat Asaf. Tel Aviv, Southern City and Jaffa. Tel Aviv East. Tel Aviv Center. Tel Aviv Yarkon Banks. Bnei Brak. Givat HaShalosha. Givat Shmuel. Givatayim. Gat Rimon. Kfar Sirkin. Ma'as.
Another thing too is if we decide we're gonna wind it down, does Israel wind it down?
Kfar Kasem. Einat. Rosh Ha'ayin. Rosh Ha'ayin train
Israel's gonna say we're not gonna stop until the threat is completely eliminated. Look what's going on right now. Israel's gonna say what? And they'll act independently. Like, what is the Israeli equation in this? What are they all thinking about this? Don't know. But it's like the last few days in Israel have been two people earlier from but that's coming from Lebanon. This is coming from Iran. But earlier, that confrontation line with Lebanon, Hezbollah. One person was in critical and the other one in serious condition from an attack An hour ago? Yes, the Houthi is another thing. They're threatening. They do a lot of talking though. They threaten to close their strait coming in. But Enforcer brought up a really important point last night when I was watching them. That's more for cargo ships, not oil. That's more for cargo transport. And they're threatening to do something there. And you're right. You know? You're right. That's another area of concern, major concern. Though, like you said, it's awfully quiet with Yemen right now, the Houthis. But are they waiting on orders from Iran? I don't know. Yeah, they do. They usually do launch missiles. But again, what's to say so far we haven't seen it? Doesn't mean it's not going to happen yet, obviously. They might be waiting for a certain opportunity or orders coming from, I don't know who's left in Iran to give the orders, but, or they're going to act unilaterally. It's a good question. The Houthi part of this. I will never underestimate the U.S. military ever again. Oh, listen, despite what I'm saying, they are really decimating, and Israel as well. The videos that constantly come out, whatever comes out of Iran, is unbelievable. The magnitude of these strikes is unbelievable. We just don't see enough of it because there's no internet, blackout in Iran. Otherwise, people would be filming left and right. But they are getting pummeled. And it's almost like they're flying at will. Like he said, the threat of anti-aircraft, it's like free reign over Iran. For real. There's so many possibilities here, Gitmo. You're right. Who knows? That's a good point too. Maybe it's not necessarily happening in Iran, it's happening elsewhere. The construction and the building of weapons. Over 9,000. What's up, Sacred? Yeah, they've been pummeling them. But obviously there's still some work to do. Obviously. And that's what I mean. That's my whole point. This ain't over. When I see the threat is like really coming down, because remember, how many missiles do we see a day or drones a day now compared to, say, 3 weeks ago? So obviously it's having an effect. Obviously. And even though we hear these alerts in Israel or anywhere else, it doesn't mean there's hundreds of missiles in the air. It's just there is a detection of launches coming from Iran. It might be 1 or 3. It doesn't mean there's a big wave coming. It just means they detected a threat and they have to alert the areas necessary. It doesn't mean it's going to be a full bombardment. And they may never even get here. They could be intercepted on the way. And then you'll hear the all clear. Because to be honest, I've seen interceptors, and yes, there's been things going on in Tel Aviv, impacts, clusters, all that stuff. We know. But, I mean, the numbers, just looking at it, have been coming down across the region. It's still happening, but the numbers are drastically lower than weeks ago. That's obvious. You cannot deny that. So obviously it's having an impact on them. You know? I want to ask you all this question, though. Do you think we're going to go and do an operation in Karg Island? Yes or no? Do you think something's coming for Karg Island? Simple. Yes or no? Yeah, it does. The sky. And that's another thing. Look at the time. It's just about 6 p.m. there. 7:30 in Iran. Another night. My gosh. Not saying that the day is any less, but my gosh. Kev says no. Sacred says yes. Dandy took the middle road, maybe. Wow. Gitmo says no. That was a good one. You played that one well. Who was the one? Dandy, maybe. I have to be on the maybe side too. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have to say that. I'm not sure either way. I'm not convinced. Let's just say that. I'm not convinced. It's a high risk to me to take. That's just my own personal opinion. To me, it's risky. High risk. And the last thing I want to see is the casualty numbers start to go up, and God forbid. I know conflict and war is war, but I don't know. Yes on Saturday. What is that? Yeah. I mean, it looks like slight majority is going to yes in chat. I mean, that would put enormous pressure on the Iranian regime, that oil money. Who's it go to? The IRGC, soldiers, they got to pay them, right? Like I said, Goldie mentioned yesterday on her show with Armin. This is what she said. I'm just saying what she said. They earn $300 million per day for oil sales, and it comes out of Karg. That's what she said. That's a lot of money, if true, per day. Damn. I'm in the UK, so it's mind-numbing watching the political fallout and discourse surrounding the conflict. Yeah. What do you think about your Starmer over there, Dandy? What do you think about Starmer? If they were going to do it, it would have already done it. There wouldn't be a warning. Well, you got to remember, Kev, they got to get the assets logistically support there first. John says yes. So it looks like the majority of you are saying yes. I mean, we know they're on the way. Somebody said that the Tripoli might be there already. So who knows? It's a good. I mean, we can definitely all speculate and wonder. We're gonna find out eventually, anyway. But
front command update.
Look.
Incident ended. The incident has ended in the following areas:
Kfar Qasem, Rosh Ayin train station.
Incident ended.
Ma'arav Lachish.
Incident ended.
Shpelat Yehuda. Lachish. Yerushalayim.
Incident ended.
Dan. Yarkon.
Incident ended.
Shomron. Hashfela.
I didn't see anything.
Incident ended.
Bik'a.
I didn't hit Tel Aviv in that message, though. They're going to have to do something with that camera. They got to raise the ISO of the game. It's getting dark. Somebody's got to pay attention to the camera. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Oh, it killed a man in his 30s and left 4 others physically injured. A Hezbollah rocket. I got to check the video out before I show it because I don't want to show anything graphic. This was earlier. This was like a couple hours ago. Because we had the alerts. That's coming from Hezbollah, though. Alright, I can show the video. I can show it. It doesn't have anything. I gotta be careful with graphic stuff. Gotta be very careful. I'm gonna screen the videos first. Kid Starver? So that was a Hezbollah rocket from this morning, and one person they're reporting one person killed, another one seriously injured. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel continues to forcefully strike the targets of the Iranian terrorist regime, and confirmed the IRGC Navy commander was eliminated in recent operation. IDF just said it's safe to leave now. All right, that's the same video they're sharing on this one. Uh-oh, here comes the other side. What is the other side putting out? They're talking about the attacks from Hezbollah to the north. They were just talking about the ballistic missile launches from from Iran toward Israel. Who is this? Oh, that's not important. Yeah, that camera's getting awfully dark. Oh, he's trying to play with the camera right now. He's focusing it in and out. He's got to bring up that ISO. It's too dark. That ain't gonna cut it, dude. Or the camera was trying to autofocus as it's getting darker. That's the only other. I would never let my cameras turn to look like that. It would drive me nuts. Jerusalem. Beirut. Just checking these cameras. This one I may have to take off until they address it, because that looks terrible. Northern Israel. We'll just stay on Northern Israel right now until he fixes that camera. Oh yeah, international law. I mean, who's going to enforce it, Dandy? Who's going to enforce international law? The UN? Who do you expect to enforce international law these days? Who? Who do you think has any real legitimate power to enforce any international law? Not many, right? If at all. To me, the UN is what the UN. I don't see no value with the UN. I don't see any role it plays. I don't see anything legitimate. I mean, oh, so they get to go and huff and puff and complain or praise something, depending on their point of view, publicly. Make a statement on the record where they stand or don't stand. Is that what it is for show? So I don't know. Alexa, what's the weather right now?
It's 67 degrees and mostly
Oh,
cloudy right
I
now.
might get off and go
Today's
bike
high will
riding.
be 74 with a low of 48, and there's a 65% chance
Oh
of showers
shit,
this
it's
afternoon.
nice out. Oh, I'm going bike riding. Screw this. Oh, it's sunny. I'm going bike riding. I'm going bike riding. I'm not sitting in this house when it's gorgeous out there. Because it's going to be cold for like the next 2 weeks. So I am going to get off now. I got to get dressed, get prepped. I'm going bike riding. To step away from all this, enjoy myself on the trail for about 30 miles. I may go live on YouTube later when I reach my 15-mile destination. It's called Hopewell Junction in New York. I'll tell you now, because if I go live later, you're going to see where I'm at. You're definitely going to see it. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Go take a nice bike ride, enjoy the beautiful weather, get the heck out of here, stuck in the house, and go enjoy myself. So I'm going to say goodbye to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. And I'll see some of you later. And I'll be live maybe in like it takes me a while. A little over an hour. Let me just show you guys quick. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, no, I can. I'm not going to get it. It's not like that. It's trails. There's 750 miles of trails in New York State. 750 miles. And it's all connected. Empire State Trail. This is where I go. It's freaking gorgeous. Remember, I don't live in New York City. Over here, it's all, well, there's no leaves on the trees now. It's still brown. It stretches from New York City all the way to Canada, from Albany all the way to Buffalo. It covers the whole state. And it is a trail. So I do the trail like up here. Somewhere in there. That's where I'm going. I'm not far from the trail. 15 minutes. Actually, I love, without getting into too many details, this piece right here is one of my favorites. From New Paltz to Kingston is one of my favorites. I call this the Bear Trail. There's a lot of bear here. And I love the scenic route. I'm not going there today. I'm going somewhere else. But that is a beautiful part of it. The whole thing is beautiful. But I'm going there today. That's where I'll be. Not there, but in the area somewhere. 30 miles. I have to get away. I have to go out and do me and get away from everything. The computer, the house. I need to go out, exercise, put my earbuds on. The trails, I'll give you an example. Because they have photos. See, Manhattan is the first one. That's all the way down. I've done that, though. Okay, let's look at the huts. Nope, that's the one. Yeah, this is the one I was just talking about. I've done this numerous times. It's one of my favorites. Now, it's not going to be green, but this is that bridge I go over. This is bear country. Right ahead of caves. Right past this bridge. About 200 feet to the right, there are caves and it has signs, bears. All throughout this area is a lot of bear. Black bear. But I'm not going there today. But you can see it is gorgeous. This is upstate New York. It's not city. There's trees everywhere. It's rural. It's not what you think. If you think anything, it's not what you think. It's completely rural. And it's gorgeous. Especially in the summer. I love it. Love it. Exactly. So I'll be live later in about an hour or so. Because I got to get dressed. I'm going to put a hoodie just in case. I got to put all my stuff together. The bike's already in the car. And I just got to get my acting gear. I should be out of this house within 15 minutes. I should be there by 1. By the time I'm all set. 1, By like 1:45-ish, I'll be live from the location. From like 1:40, about approximately 1:45 Eastern, I should be live. Yeah, the more I talk, the more I'm going to be stuck here. Goodbye, you lovely people. Prayers to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. I'll see you, some of you, when I'm live streaming. All right, let me get the heck out of here. Have you ever picked up your feet? Have you ever picked, what does that mean, your feet in Poughkeepsie? What does that mean? Kenny, that's where I'm going right now. I'm going to Poughkeepsie. I'm going over that bridge. The Mid-Hudson Bridge. Not the Mid-Hudson Bridge, the Walkway Bridge. That's exactly where I'm going right now. To Highland, New York. Too much information. But I'm going to be going into Poughkeepsie on the bike. Actually, technically. So, a little too much information because it's revealing my location. Not really, because I'm not close to that, but still. It's a movie quote? Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the movie. Let me get the hell off, and I'll see some of you lovelies when I'm over there. But I want to get the hell out. Goodbye. See you. Take care, all of you. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be back maybe later, and I'm definitely going to be streaming live